that could surge even higher as kids head back to school, and also a potential new healthcare crisis if more and more people do not get vaccinated. We'll have everything you need to know.
And then a big victory for Britney Spears in court after another emotional day of testimony she gave against her father. And there's a new lawyer who could play a major role in winning her conservatorship battle. What's next for her? Stay tuned to find out.
Plus, today was a real legendary morning in Studio 1A. We had Chip and Joanna Gaines. They came by. They talked about their new network, their project, and how they are still looking to reach new heights.
And Hoda, I heard Mindy Kaling stopped by the fourth hour to chat with you and Jenna. I love Mindy.
We're very fancy. People are lining up for our show.
I thought Mindy was my best
we
friend.
also have one of the breakout stars on our new series. The series is called Never Have I Ever. They're fun together. They're great. We even played their own version of Never Have I Ever.
Well, I know that got interesting because Jenna's definitely,
exactly.
She has, is all I got to say. Should we get started?
We should. It's time for
Today in 30. We want to begin with that summer surge and really some frightening new numbers to show you this morning. Take a look at this graph. It's really hard to believe. After months of decline, the curve is no longer flattening, with the number of new cases per day doubling over the past 3 weeks.
Well, the reason it's pretty clear, that highly contagious Delta variant now accounting for nearly 60% of new cases. And this comes as vaccinations have dropped 54% in the last week. NBC's Gabe Gutierrez is in hard-hit Arkansas. Cases there, get this, up nearly 300% from 1 month ago. Hey, Gabe, good morning.
Hi, Hoda. Good morning. COVID patients at this Little Rock hospital are doubling every 10 days. And doctors say that some of those sick patients are telling them that they regret not getting the COVID vaccine when they had the chance.
Over the past 3 weeks, new COVID cases nationwide have been doubling daily. Public health officials now expect the highly contagious Delta variant to keep spreading through at least September, prime back-to-school season.
Unfortunately, the worst is yet to come. It's going to get worse before it gets better in terms of the spread of this infection right now.
But in some states, the surge is already here.
We're going to overwhelm the healthcare system here in Arkansas within the next 14 days.
Remarkably, the chief nursing officer at the University of Arkansas for Medical Sciences says for them, this COVID wave is the worst they've seen.
It's far more intense. The patients are sicker, they're younger.
Across the country, for many, a new school year is just weeks away. Kids under the age of 12 who are not yet eligible for the vaccine will head into the classroom without a shot of protection. 60% of children who are eligible for the vaccine still have not gotten it, so there are growing concerns schools could fuel the Delta spread. On Wednesday, pop sensation Olivia Rodrigo visited the White House to try and change that, speaking directly to her younger fans.
It's important to have conversations with friends and family members, encouraging all communities to get vaccinated.
The reason is clear. The 5 states with the biggest 2-week jump in cases per capita all had lower vaccination rates.
The tidal wave is coming towards our unvaccinated population. This variant is spreading quickly, and this variant has the ability to devastate those in its wake.
She shouldn't have got sick.
In Arkansas, Clara Myers' sister battled the virus for 3 weeks. She didn't think the vaccine mattered. She died on Friday.
It destroys your family in a blink of an eye. 1 minute she was okay, and then 1 minute she wasn't.
All right, now to the latest on Britney Spears, the pop superstar back in court yesterday, this time sobbing with emotion as she fights to end her conservatorship and reclaim control of her life. NBC's Aaron McLaughlin is on the story again for us in L.A. with more. Aaron, good morning.
Savannah, good morning. We thought this court hearing could be high drama, and it certainly met that expectation. Britney Spears making an impassioned plea to the court, speaking quickly, at times in tears, railing against her father and the conservatorship that she says has ruined her life. This morning, Britney Spears appearing to celebrate on Instagram, posting she feels gratitude and blessed, coming after her raw and emotional day in court on Wednesday. Testifying remotely by phone, the 39-year-old sobbed as she once again lashed out at her father, Jamie, demanding he be removed as her conservator immediately and be charged with conservatorship abuse, telling the judge she was extremely scared of Jamie and wants him investigated. This conservatorship is literally allowing my dad to ruin my life.
They're not really listening to what I'm telling them. It's like, it's bad. Britney's 13-year conservatorship the subject of a documentary.
I'm sad.
Jamie Spears has controlled his daughter's finances for most of it, with a second conservator now in charge of her personal affairs. On Wednesday, Britney telling the court the conservatorship even controlled her diet, saying she was often barred from eating hamburgers and fries and drinking coffee. Their goal was to make me feel crazy, and I'm not, and that's not okay. Through his attorney, Jamie Spears refused to step down, saying Britney has made a lot of misstatements, and he's been there for her 24/7. He loves his daughter, and he only wants the best for her. A judge previously denied Britney's request to remove him.
I need space.
Now the overprotected singer may be one step closer to gaining her freedom. The judge granting her request to choose her own lawyer, celebrity power attorney and former federal prosecutor Matthew Rosengart, who's represented A-listers like Ben Affleck, Sean Penn, and Steven Spielberg. Rosengart telling the court he will file a petition to get Jamie Spears out as quickly as possible, saying if he loves his daughter, it is time to step aside.
Given the allegations Britney is making against her father, why has it been so difficult for her to remove him as conservator?
Well, I think it's been difficult thus far because she hasn't had an advocate like the one we saw today.
Britney's new celebrity attorney says the goal now should be to free her from the conservatorship and her father for good.
The question remains, why is he involved? He should step down voluntarily, as that is in the best interest of Britney Spears.
The next court date is scheduled for September. Britney's new attorney says he may petition to remove her father within the next several weeks. Savannah.
All right, Aaron, thank you. Good morning. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
We are going to be cheering you on all the way.
Oda is going to renew their vows right here. Cheers to you.
Cheers.
We've been watching Chanel bust a move all morning.
New meaning to the expression rise and shine.
Jenna, nearly 2 miles in the air.
It's amazing! Yes!
Your Gampy would be so proud.
Oh, thank you, Al. It has been a long year.
Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing.
So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for?
Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Hey everybody, Chip and Joanna Gaines.
And you're watching the Today Show in 30.
Chip and Joanna have been married for, this is your life, 18 years. They're the parents to 5 kids ranging in ages 16 to 3.
How sweet. And when their show Fixer Upper premiered 8 years ago, it became an instant hit. It quickly popularized the style known as farmhouse chic, and it helped out Waco, Texas big time. Yeah. It put home renovation on the map. And after ending that show to take a little time out of the spotlight, they're back, babe, with their biggest project yet, and we're so glad they made it to Studio 1A to hang with us for a couple of hours. First of all, the biggest change of all is happening in that chair.
Look at this.
We need a French braid.
Yes.
We need a little bit of extra
Chip
conditioner.
Gaines is coming, not Fabio. What's happening?
I like her style.
Yeah, talk to us.
I get this. It's like the rest of the country, sadly, in some ways. You know, it's like nobody can agree on anything. You're either in this camp or you're in this camp. Well, Twitter is very similar in that regard with my hair. It's either you love this or you
hate it. Well, let's ask, what does Joanna say?
Joe's the one.
It's grown on me.
No, it has not.
It has, but yeah, I mean, it's grown on me. You know, he's about to shave it.
Okay.
Like,
really? I actually like it. I think it's cute.
But I think I'm going to miss it for sure.
It's a 50-50. You are either in one camp or the other.
Where do
There's
you come
absolutely
down?
no
I say
in-between.
cut it.
I like
right
it.
off the bat. She
Cut
goes, oh, sweetie. She was touching my face like my mom. Oh, I just don't like it at all. I need you to cut it.
You grew it out
immediately.
for a reason, though.
Yes.
I did, yeah. Well, twofold. I mean, it's evolved into a real philanthropic, and I'm excited about raising the money part. So that's kind of the back end of it. But at the beginning, I was telling Hoda this yesterday. It's like the pandemic hit, and it was just like we just cut that out of our typical routine, like probably most people, you know. And so after it got a little longer and a little longer, I just was like, you know what? I'm going to go for it. I mean, I'm going to grow this out. I was telling Hoda, it's like I like to continue to bring in like bucket lister type situations into my life. And I was like, hey, when I die, I'm going to say, do you remember that season that I had that long hair?
Long hair.
And when I'm bald as a bat here in a couple of months after we shave it literally razor blade bald, then I'll say I've never been bald before either. So.
Well, you guys, we're going to talk about your kids. You have 5 of them, but you have a 6th that you're about to give birth to, and that's this.
It does feel like
this
that.
feels like
Little
your
Maggie.
6th child, a big
Little Maggie.
Little Maggie.
How does the Magnolia Network feel on the big day?
It's this morning. I sat there. I was in the bathroom and I was crying, and I was like, "Why am I crying?" And it felt like I just gave birth. I always cry when I give birth, but it was like,
for sure.
This is a baby, 2.5 years in the making, and today
Tears
is
of
her
joy.
debut. So we're so excited.
It is. And it is years in the making.
Yeah.
I mean, so you've been pregnant with this baby for years.
Yes.
But because you kind of shocked the whole wide world when you left Fixer Upper, because you left at the height of your popularity, which you probably figured out nobody does that. You were so popular. Your fans were devastated. They loved you so much. It wasn't at all clear that you were going to come back to TV.
Sure.
You weren't sure you were going to.
Yeah.
But you came back because you got a whole network. So you're really doing all kinds of shows, but you're doing Fixer Upper. It's coming back too.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I think what we loved about the network was getting to highlight other people's stories. And when you meet the people on the network and you see their stories, I mean,
Hoda got to yesterday, and we all cried.
They're so passionate about what they
Passionate,
do,
powerful.
inspiring people. So we're excited about highlighting them.
Yeah, I mean, the people who you have on your show are all winners. And I was just thinking to myself, like, but you guys, you said something interesting. You needed a break to decide that you were going to go on.
Yeah.
And in that break, you guys were, I think, at a real low point, which surprised me to hear. I didn't know that. But what was happening in that moment?
You know,
For sure.
5 seasons in, which really translates to 6 years of being on television or filming on top of our growing family and our business. I think we were just exhausted. And when you start getting in that rhythm of just doing and then you forget the why, which I think by season 5 we were like just showing up. And I felt like inside we were just kind of slowly, it was like, wait, something's not right inside. And so we both knew we need to step back and just kind of evaluate what we're saying yes to and the why. And so we just said for a full year, we're going to not take any call. We're just going to sit back, focus on the business,
And
focus on home.
sometimes that's the beauty in that opportunity that we were given. Because we weren't chasing that opportunity, it was sort of given to us. It sort of fell out of the sky. It fell, came in through the back door, if you will. Because we weren't chasing it, when it felt like it was no longer filling us the way we had hoped that it would at some point on that journey, it was easy for us to kind of step away from it because it wasn't like that was the net goal no matter what. But can you imagine somebody in law school wanting to be an attorney and then finding out as they're taking the bar, I don't know that I want to do this for the rest of my life. Well, you've committed to that place. For us, it was a little more like, hey, if this isn't going to be our future, then let's step back and let's go find out what that.
So what was that time at home? Like, what was that space? What did you learn about yourselves and your family?
So many people, I want to say this part, it's like so many people have experienced that the last year, and Hoda was talking about that. It's like people who thought going into the pandemic, oh my gosh, we're going to all have to click together and we're going to have to do this thing, click together in this additional space. Multi-generational families have come back together kind of for the first time, at least in generations, right? And it's like all this stuff has happened. We joked that it was like when the pandemic came due, like when it actually started, evolving, Joe and I were like, oh man, this last season has prepared us for this season. And it was like the sweetest season. I mean, it took a minute, obviously, because we were all anxious to do other things. But as we kind of started gelling and getting used to family dinners again and being used to just being together as a family, like playing checkers because we were a bit bored, we were just like, what a beautiful gift. It became a gift. Sorry. What were you going to say?
Nothing. I wanted to say you.
y'all have a beautiful family. You're such hands-on parents. But I did love a little bit of advice, I think, Joe, that you have. A lot of kids are on their devices. And your son was on his a lot. And every time he felt a buzz, he checked his pocket, checked his pocket.
I think we do that all.
And you had a solution.
For sure.
Well, I think, as we
I'm sorry, hold on.
Right, exactly. We just created this.
It's my mom. Hold on.
Stop.
I'll call you back. Okay, I love you.
It's actually your hairdresser.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Finally. We have this little station where everyone charges their phone. And finally we decided, we don't like how our kids, they almost look like robots with, all of us. We're just like, when it buzzes, you've got to check it. And when they're reading, they're checking it. And it just became a house rule when you're at home. All the phones go on one spot. So if you want to check a text, if you want to check an email, you go to that spot, but it's not on your body. So it's like no phones on body. That's the rule at home.
Our week-long journey begins here in Orlando, Louisville, Kentucky, Cleveland. Our Across America journey reporting on an America rebuilding and reimagining a future after the pandemic. Good evening tonight from Geneva, just hours away from his historic summit. Over 16,000 unaccompanied children tonight in custody. What's victory look like in this, or what does improvement look like? It's going to be a challenge to meet that 70% goal. Why is it so challenging?
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
Tonight, we're on the scene as the urgent search for survivors is underway after the deadly collapse of a high-rise building.
Buildings don't fall down in America like this.
The Delta variant. What does this mean for people who are fully vaccinated?
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Tyra's brand, a lot of it is authenticity. And she's very honest about the fact that she dealt with bullying as a child. They called her a giraffe, or they called her an ugly duckling. Where was that girl versus this model?
You see how tall she is. She's 5'11", and she had a growth spurt, and it was the craziest thing ever. She grew 6 inches in a few months.
But how did you help her get through that?
I concentrated less on her appearance and more on her abilities and her character. We would take trips to the bookstore, art exhibits, the museum, because those are the things that she really loved doing.
So tell me then about your at-home photography business.
I was working as a biological photographer, and then I had a friend who worked in the fashion industry. She called me one day and she said they had an assignment, and I did it and was very successful and got rehired. In the process of doing that, Tyra would sometimes come with me on my photo assignments. A lot of the models that I was working with would say, "Have you ever thought about her being a model?" And I was like, "Oh, please." So one day she came to me and she goes, "Mom, maybe this is something I should look into." So I said, "Okay, you go and you do your research and you tell me what you find out about that industry."
So now fast forward in time, she gets a scout call that she should go to Paris. When did you get involved as her manager?
I told her that I would support her in whatever decision she made because it's not my life, it's hers. But the one thing that I did say, once again, you are starting a business. You are the commodity. So you are going to study. You are going to know that business business inside out before you step on any airplane. She looked at videotapes of runway models through the ages. And she said, you know what? Every single one of them has a signature walk. And I said, well, looks like we need to work on a Tyra walk. So that's what we did.
And boy, did she ever, because we know Tyra's walk. She was the first Black woman on the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue cover. One of the first Black models to sign a contract with Victoria's Secret. How does it feel as her mom?
I got a phone call from the president of IMG Model. And he goes, your daughter is going to be on the cover of Sports Illustrated. I just sat still, just quiet. And I thought to myself, she did. She said, I'm not going to let them tell me that a Black woman can't sell magazines. It was a feeling of accomplishments as a mother, instilling that much in your child to know that she's truly a trailblazer.
What has it been like to watch your child become a mom?
I waited a long, long time for that. When she finally decided that she wanted to do that, she had a difficult time, and I went through that with her. But when she finally did it was life-altering for me. I'm really happy for her. I wanted her to have another one, but she said no.
Don't push it, Carolyn. What is the one piece of advice or words of wisdom you would pass along to other moms?
I believe that to be truthful and honest with your children, create a relationship where they feel comfortable enough to come to you for anything. I think that's so important. I take my greatest pride in being mama, just being mama.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
We are going to be cheering you on all the way.
Hoda is going to renew their vows right here. Cheers to you.
New meaning to the expression, rise and shine.
I'm rolling up my sleeves for science, so I'll survive if I can track this virus. For family dinners, family vacations, family anything. For traveling somewhere beyond my living room. And for the Rebels, there is no greater feeling than being in the stadium and cheering on Ole Miss. And now it's your turn. Roll up your sleeves, America. Plan your vaccine, because every shot counts. Visit planyourvaccine.com and make your plan.
Tonight, we're on the scene as the urgent search for survivors is underway after the deadly collapse of a high-rise building.
Buildings don't fall down in America like this.
The Delta variant. What does this mean for people who are fully vaccinated?
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt. Make the most of your day with
Today in
30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule. Streaming every day on Today All Day.
Mindy Kaling, she's an actress, she's a comedian, she's a writer, she's a producer, she's a director,
and
she's a mama.
Mother. She
you
does
do it all.
We've seen her work on shows like The Office, where she played Kelly Kapoor for 8 seasons, and of course, The Mindy Project, which she not only starred in, but she also created. And now the New York Times best-selling author is out with a season 2 of her wildly popular Netflix show. It's called Never Have I Ever, another project she, of course, created and wrote.
Yeah, it's a coming-of-age comedy about the complicated life of a first-generation Indian-American teenager named Davy, played by Tracee. And this scene, Davy is spying on her mother while she's on a date. Take a look.
Basically stripping. Davy, don't jump to conclusions. Let's see if she answers a text from her only child. How's the work dinner? Getting a lot done?
It's just...
My mom just left me on red.
Oh, Mindy and Tracee.
That's big right there.
On a date with Common.
Good. It's really good. On a date with Common. I know, on a hot date with Common.
Mindy, did you know she was magic? Did you know that Tracee was magic right away?
From the moment we met her.
from the moment we met her. She is the most exceptional young actress that I've ever met. She's also my daughter.
Yeah.
And I thought that this would be a good time to tell everyone.
To complain about the nepotism that happened on Never Have I Ever. There was some nepotism, and we're talking about it
I wish
now.
she was my daughter. No, she was just this incredibly talented high school kid who thought she could do it, and we saw her and we're like, she's a star. So we feel so lucky to have her.
And Tracee, is it true that you saw a tweet and you just thought, you know what, let me try. Haven't been in any show, but let me just give it a try?
Yeah, actually, it was my best friend who saw it, and they sent it to me and was like, yo, you could have fun with this. So we decided to just go to our library community center and start filming.
I can't even believe that this is how it began, and it's magic. Mindy, this idea, obviously, it's very close to your heart, this idea. So are you using stuff that's ripped from your own headlines?
Yeah, I created the show with my friend Lang Fisher, and we were both nerds in high school, but we were ambitious and wanted to have boyfriends, and I just felt like we didn't really get to see that side of nerds, especially Asian women. We're usually depicted as kind of, demure, and I like this character because she's feisty and smart and has an anger problem, so it was unusual.
So it's a little bit like you. No, you don't have an anger problem at all.
A little bit, yeah.
I read how much Mindy has been an inspiration to you, Tracee, that you think of her as a mentor. Tell us why.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us why.
I mean, okay, obviously, huge fan of The Office, my favorite comedy of all time. But, of course, she plays Kelly Kapoor. But I think she's written some of the best episodes on The Office, in my expert office opinion. So I was like, she knows all the comedic jokes and does everything. I'm not even trying to kiss her.
Listen, I'll take it.
She can do it all.
Tell me more.
No one can say that Mindy Kaling does not work hard, because that is just a lie. She always is working on something.
And
it's amazing.
And to have someone, Tracee, who you connected to, who looks like you.
Yeah.
You're like, wow, I get it.
Yeah, honestly, I'm so thankful to have Mindy Kaling as my first boss. But as The Office says, Michael Scott, friend first, boss second.
Oh, I love that. Okay, Mindy, Legally Blonde celebrated. Yes. We did a little bend and snap around here for Reese. 20th anniversary. Are you done writing? Have you finished writing the script? Where are you?
We're in the middle of it. We actually just had a call with Reese last week to talk about it, and she's such a great creative partner for that project. So yeah, fingers crossed, we'll see more of it soon.
Do we have any idea, what is the concept?
We know she's older. What's happening to her?
I cannot say anything. What a lame answer this is. I can't really say anything about it. I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay. Should we play a little game?
We will see some familiar faces.
Okay. Oh, familiar faces. That's good to know. All right, we're going to play a little game, kids. It's called Never Have I Ever, the late night edition. So this is things you've done. Jenna dropped her mic.
I dropped my paddle, and I want to play.
All right, things we've done as a teenager. Okay. Are you guys ready?
Okay. Yeah, we're so ready.
Never have I ever crawled in or out of a window to sneak out at night. I have never.
We're
lame.
Okay, never have I ever snooped through a family member's phone after they went to bed.
When we were little, nobody had phones.
Never. No.
Yeah,
wait.
Haven't.
You have?
You have?
Oh, my God.
When did you do that? Whose phone? Tell us.
Definitely, honestly, everyone's phones in my family, because I know everyone's passwords, everyone's email passwords, everyone's, I have a really good memory for that stuff.
Oh, that's so awesome.
All right.
You guys, congratulations.
Congrats,
This show
Mindy.
is a huge hit, and we cannot wait to see
Congrats,
season
Tracee.
2.
We can't wait to see her future, too. It's going to be a big one. The second season starts streaming on Netflix today.
Ladies, you just interviewed Tracee and Mindy for Never Have I Ever. What'd you think?
I love how you did Tracee and Mindy Kaling, because
Yes.
Tracee is going to be
She's
a star.
a huge
I mean, look at her.
star.
You see her? They're still right there. This is right after we finished the interview. It's a Zoom. And now they're talking about how amazing the interview was. Look at Jenna. Isn't she cute?
They are saying.
I'm lip reading. Wow, that was amazing. I've never had a better interview. That's what they said. Never have I ever.
You know
That's
what?
they said.
This show, too, is so much fun. People loved it during the pandemic. Season 2, baby.
Yeah.
Should we watch?
Did you know Gigi Hadid has a cameo in it?
No, but of course you know. I just ran into
Bye, G. All right, be sure to join us for another big show tomorrow on Today.
It's a summer Friday, and you know what that means. Hoda's gonna. No, I'm just kidding. A live concert on our plaza. Dan and Shay.
Boom! Can't wait for that. Have a great day. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
The movie, the music is unbelievable. The dancing, off the charts. And to be able to shoot in Washington Heights. What was that like to be on the street there?
It was the best choice we ever made, and we made it from the very top of this production. And I'm not from Washington Heights. I'm from Northern California, all California boy from a Chinese family growing up in a Chinese restaurant. And Lynn invited me into this neighborhood where he still lives, where Kiara, our writer, still lives. And I said, show me why you love this place, and I'll try to capture as much as I can. Washington Heights wasn't just a character in our movie, as people say. It was a co-writer. It was a crew member. The people were our hype men. They were like in the windows, like screaming for us.
Yeah.
It's like that opening where you get to meet all the characters, but you really get a sense of of what America is, real America here. And it's very emotional when you see these real people doing real jobs. It's actually very healing right now when I watch it more than ever.
Mucho trabajo.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
Absolutely.
I mean, people working there,
A lot
knuckles
of
to
work.
the bones, right?
Yeah.
Cleaning ladies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it moves me because my mother raised 3 kids in the projects in Brooklyn by herself. $30,000 a year. She does, before taxes, and it was just like, there's so many families like that, right? So many people who are going through something like that. And if it's not that specifically, everybody's got a story. Everybody's got, it's like, everybody's got a job, everybody's got a dream, right? They gossip as I sip my coffee and smirk. The first stop as people hop to work. That's the lens of this, the everyday dude that we're seeing the lens of this story being told through. And and I think that's what moves me so much about this film is that, there's the Abuela Claudia, there's, the people dancing or just the people in the community.
There's so many faces in this movie that we might not normally recognize in terms of, well, I've never seen that person before, I've never seen that person. And everyone is crushing it with talent just coming out of the pores of their skin.
Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that gorgeous?
How do you do that?
You just open your eyes. Being in Washington Heights, seeing all the talent in New York, in California, all around the country. There's so many talented people do not have the opportunity to show off who they are.
But movie studios for decades have not wanted you to do that.
Yeah. And Lin, the genius of Lin-Manuel Miranda, is he was like, I don't need anyone anymore. I'm going to write a part for myself. And he wrote it with Kiara, and they put it up. There was a moment where we're doing Carnaval de Barrio, and everyone is, I call cut. It's this big number where everyone has their flags, and nobody stops dancing. Everyone starts jumping up and down. I'm like, is this okay? The crew starts jumping up and down, and they start chanting, New York, New York. And Lynn's up on the fire escape, and he looks down, and they all look up at him. And they're like, Lynn, 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 Lynn. And he's trapped, he can't go there, so he starts to cry. Everyone starts to cry. They keep chanting, Lynn, Lynn, Lynn. You can hear this place. We're in Washington Heights. We're in a courtyard. You can hear it blocks away. Lynn, 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 because he manifested this. He drew it, at 17 years old, he drew it in a binder. We put that drawing on his Pedagua card. But here they are. The people that he created in that piece are now in front of him in a movie, and they know it's possible. And he's looking down at Anthony. They're singing harmonies to each other. And there's a direct relationship that they've worked together, that Anthony has this path because of some of the things that Lynn did. That is very empowering, not just for Latinos there, for all of us who are watching this. Dream bigger.
To think that this guy first put some of this on a stage when he was in college.
Yeah.
Right. Oh my God.
I had the vision to do it. I mean, it takes this level of, I think, I don't want to say frustration, but a little bit of like, maybe a little bit of that and motivation and like tenacity and belief in yourself to say, I don't feel like this thing that I love, the people that can give me an opportunity to do that, see me. I don't think they see me. So how do I write my way into this world? Because no one else is gonna do it for me. And I truly believe Lynn did that. And in him doing that for himself, he did that for so many people. You know, me being one of the many people in this cast, you know, because he had the vision to do that. You know, I wanted to quit. You know, it was so hard for me to get a role. Because they're like, he looked like this, but he sounds like that, but he's this. And I'm like, yo, I don't know what I need to be for y'all to understand. I'm like, I know I can do this. I know I can do this. And for you to be told so many times, told no so many times, this role needs to be cast this way, this role needs to be cast that way. And I think Lynn had just that vision to say, I'm not gonna wait for somebody to write me the role that I wanna play.
So you get ready to make the movie, and Lynn writes you a little note on the script. What did it say?
It said, "Don't F it up," with a smiley emoji.
With
Still,
love.
with love, with
Still.
love. It was funny. I laughed and then I cried. No, it stayed with me the whole shoot. This is neighborhood. I get it. We gotta do it right, and I'm down for that pressure. That's why I'm here. As a director, you're the only person that can prioritize production. I can say, everyone can be saying, we're running out of time, we're running out of money, and I'm the only one who can say, stop. If that sauce isn't right on the table, go down to the store and go get it. I'm the only one who can say, oh, the hair's in her, don't pin it back, that's her hair. Move the camera, move the lights. We'll wait an hour, let's do it. And I think that's the big pressure that I felt was, give us the space. And I was like, I'll give you a lot of space, let's go.
What you were talking about before, though, this idea that as you were coming up as an actor, people were trying to give you advice about how to comport yourself, right? Yeah. They were trying to take, it seemed to me as I was looking at it, they were trying to take the you out of you.
Conceal who you are, right? So that way you can be ambiguous. Grow your hair out, change the way you speak more in American Standard. Pay more attention to voice production in speech class, and pronounce the vowels the way, you know, the teacher's pronouncing the vowel. Like, so that way people won't know where you're from, right? So you can play this kind of role and that kind of race and that kind of role. And I'm like, and I was like, okay, yeah, I want to work. Yeah, I really want to work. And then eventually I was like, yo, I'm not doing this. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like this is not who I am. And I remember Lynn said something to me so good in rehearsal one time. We were in rehearsal and he goes, I think I said something and it was a little hood. And I said, oh man, I need to change the way I speak, man. I felt a little self-conscious about the way I delivered what I said. And he goes, you never need to change the way you speak, Papa. You just need to make sure people understand you. And he said that to me and I was like, and you know, I think that quote has stayed with me like since that day. And I think that quote lived in me even before he said it, but it was like an affirmation when he said it to me that came from somewhere that was beyond even him, that he might ever know, you know what I'm saying?
You've described this movie a lot of different ways, but there's one in particular that I think really, really nails it. What is it?
Vaccination for the soul.
Vaccination for the soul.
That's what it felt like going to set every day. Before the pandemic, it was, we had a disease and we didn't know it. And these people, when I'm watching them, and they're showing me their dance, and they're showing me their food, and they're showing me their flag, and why they hold their flag. In every shop I could look, I could find a flag now. It's like the hidden Mickeys. They're like, they're so proud. This is home. It showed that we had a lot to learn. And a movie, the microphone of cinema, can help open that window. Get some air, get some oxygen, get some new blood in us.
What are you feeling right now?
Grateful, number one. I think it's just years, right, being like years of feeling like Here's another wall. There's another wall. Finally, like, the door opened. and not to say that I won't hit other walls in life, but does it feel good to have this, to be walking through this open door? You know? And to feel like, you know, there's a chance for, you know, like you said, for a better life, not only, you know, for my family, for, I think all the families of the people who are part of this film, but for a people who have felt like they live in a place where nobody cares, no one's listening. Nobody's listening, nobody's hearing them, they shouting, they, you know, they're protesting, they're screaming, and just to feel like the door's opening. A door has opened where it's like we're making progress. Come on. Come on. You know? You decided to make movies, then you created this opportunity for, I mean, it's a ripple effect, man. You know, if my mom would have given up, I don't know if I'd be here. You know, so I think I'm just feeling all of those things now, you know? Yeah. Grateful.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright. Are you ready? We're going to do our part to spread the word on the importance of vaccines, so crucial for reopening America.
A big day around here, a very special naturalization ceremony.
Many of them doctors, nurses, other essential workers.
If you are a nurse, thank you.
Spring has sprung, guys, and we want to fill this season with some fun and surprises.
Yes.
This is the face of excitement. Celebrating Earth Day.
Let's change the world.
Love it!
I'm rolling up my sleeves for science, so I'll survive if I can track this virus. For family dinners, family vacations, family anything. For traveling somewhere beyond my living room. And for the Rebels, there is no greater feeling than being in the stadium and cheering on Ole Miss. And now it's your turn. Roll up your sleeves, America. Plan your vaccine, because every shot counts. Visit planyourvaccine.com and make your plan.
The Great Emergence. No, not that one. Us, coming out of our respective COVID cocoons. It is indeed a big deal. Celebrity interviewer TJ works the crowd.
What movie are you going to see?
I'm seeing the scary one.
For patrons and for employees of the Prospector Theater in Ridgefield, Connecticut, opening again was a reason to celebrate. Emily has worked here for more than 5 years.
I haven't been in person in 15 months, and I'm so happy to be back. It's so exciting.
The staff here is tight-knit. People who identify as having a disability are the rule here, not the exception.
The best part by working here is I love working with my friends and family.
You feel like folks here are...
Oh yeah, definitely. Our team are like family to me.
Yeah.
There's no place like home.
A family whose ever-exuberant matriarch, Val Jensen, founded this place.
Meaningful employment is life. Meaningful employment is happiness.
Jensen worked with adults with disabilities for years. She knew they could exceed expectations.
When you give somebody a purpose in life and a mission, it makes life that much better. Thank you.
If you're a customer at the Prospector, you will quickly grow accustomed to a first-class experience.
We need more employers to understand how to speak to people with disabilities, how to make accommodations. Sometimes accommodations are so simple.
Sometimes the employees bring their own accommodations.
I'm Allie Wood, and I'm an usher and a projectionist.
Fantastic. Right? Wow. How long have you used that?
All my life, pretty much, but since college with the iPhone and the app.
Allie and the rest of the staff here have a message to share.
And I help show our country that adults with disabilities are more than capable of having a job and being successful. I can speak in front of people just like anybody else.
That's right.
That's right.
I got that. You gave me goosebumps.
Yeah. So stop with the streaming and binging already. Emerge.
I think a lot of us right now are gonna feel like the butterfly. The world can be that much more magical. At least I feel like a butterfly.
Come back, people. Please come back. We love to see you. We do.
For Sunday Today, Harry Smith, Ridgefield, Connecticut.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
It has been a long year.
Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing. So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for?
Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
What should we watch for to find out whether this Geneva summit was worth it? What would it take for you to support this bipartisan infrastructure deal? What are the issues that the party stands for? That seems to be the missing piece here. If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
I'm rolling up my sleeves for science, so I'll survive if I can track this virus. For family dinners, family vacations, family anything. For traveling somewhere beyond my living room. And for the Rebels, there is no greater feeling than being in the stadium and cheering on Ole Miss. And now it's your turn. Roll up your sleeves, America. Plan your vaccine, because every shot counts. Visit planyourvaccine.com and make your plan.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
The pioneering chef who started a slow food movement.
Yeah, Harry Smith got to spend some time with Alice Waters in her natural habitat.
Totally. You know, typically we go to do a story, right? Yeah. We rush in, the guy set up, we get going, and then we're going to do the interview, and then we rush out again. We got to Alice Waters. She said, whoa. Take a look at this, right? She said, set up, then eat.
Ooh,
just
what?
Right? She made us these pizzas. There's salad from the garden.
Before the interview.
Look at this. Before the interview.
It's called buttering you up, Harry.
It's really more, it's a metaphor and a message. Slow down.
A Meyer lemon tree.
I see him right there.
Alice Waters' backyard is small, welcoming, wonderful.
I have a cherry tree, which doesn't have very many cherries, but I have a quince tree.
Oh, I love a quince.
A few feet away, a giant redwood stands sentinel. When studying abroad in France at the age of 19, the woman who would become the prophetess of the slow food movement had an epiphany.
And I would eat in little small restaurants, and they're run by a family, and it was a revelation to me.
Her revelation turned into one of America's most renowned restaurants, Chez Panisse. For 50 years, the mothership of locally sourced, organic, seasonal cooking. 5 decades of learning and seeking, resulting in We Are What We Eat, a slow food manifesto.
Why did you call it a manifesto?
I wanted to convince people of my theory. I wanted it to be in that place of understand this. Please, listen. I feel that we in this country and around the world have been sensorially deprived because of a fast food culture indoctrination.
The bombardment of ads, the boulevards of burgers. Convenience has a shortcut, she says, is short-sighted.
We don't know the true cost of the cheap food we eat. We don't know what the cost is to the environment or to our health.
Food mass-produced for mass consumption.
The way the industrial food system is organized is shocking.
Fast, in fact, makes her furious.
It's convenient to buy food to go, but when you cook it yourself and you offer it to a friend, you get something else that is invaluable.
And don't we all wish we had the time to do that? Elitist, cry her critics.
Is it elitist to want to support the people who take care of the land and their farm workers?
The trade-off to convenience, she contends, has come at considerable personal cost. Obesity, diabetes, and more. An answer, to start, kids. Her edible schoolyard project. Students cultivate a garden, then cook what's in it. It's been adopted in almost 10,000 schools.
If these teenage kids, if they grow it in the garden and they cook it in the kitchen classroom, they all eat it.
The manifesto reads like a life guide. The world according to Alice.
We're trying to educate the senses, and food is the best way to do it. It touches all those senses. And so it opens your mind. And once your mind is opened in that way, you can see the beauty. You can taste.
Savoring food, she believes, leads to savoring life. Leaving convenience behind, liberating.
I've had 50 years at Chez Panisse, and I've been feeding people these ideas for 50 years. And I guess they've been liking it because they keep coming back.
It's seductive, isn't
yes,
it?
it is.
Right?
Good word.
Yes, it is.
Harry's got a little food crush.
Harry was like, tell me more.
More pizza.
That's cool.
What's so cool things in some of the writing is just so beautiful. One of the things she says, I think that in this way, speed feeds our sense of loneliness. We send a text and expect an instantaneous response. Lying on a couch and daydreaming is considered wasteful, transgressive almost.
Wow.
I could just sit and listen to her read books.
That's poetry. You're right. That's beautiful. Beautiful passage.
Again, Alice Waters' book, it's called We Are What We Eat. It is out right now, and you can find out more on today.com/shop.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
We are going to be cheering you on all the way.
Hoda is going to renew their vows right here. Cheers to you.
Meaning to the expression, rise and shine.
Make the most of your day with
Today in
30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule. Streaming every day on Today All Day.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
What should we watch for to find out whether this Geneva summit was worth it? What would it take for you to support this bipartisan infrastructure deal? What are the issues that the party stands for? That seems to be the missing piece here. If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press. The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Now to that really inspirational story of Sam Schmidt. Sam Schmidt is an IndyCar driver who was paralyzed from the shoulders down 21 years ago.
Yeah, Harry Smith has followed him as he's learned to do incredible things, driving again and going skydiving. And Sam's latest chapter is the most emotional yet. Harry's on assignment this morning at the Barber Motorsports Museum in Birmingham, Alabama. Hi, Harry. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. And to get inspired for the race on Sunday, the big Indy 500 race, there's no better place than this Barber Vintage Motorsports Museum. But if you're looking for inspiration, we've got a guy we want you to meet if you haven't met him before on the Today Show, a friend of ours who was going to be trackside at Indy, and he inspires us every day.
It's a practice day at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Arrow McLaren team owner Sam Schmidt is standing trackside. We said standing. Sam Schmidt is a quadriplegic.
When you were in that bed 20-some years ago, flat on your back in Florida, did you think this was possible?
Not even close. Yeah, we didn't know if I'd make it the first week, let alone the first month.
Schmidt was then an IndyCar driver. A crash in Orlando left him paralyzed from the shoulders down.
Everybody thought it was insane that why would I go back to a sport that put me in a wheelchair? I've been racing since I was 5 years old. It's all I ever want to do is compete at this place. And that to me is what kept me alive for 21 years.
We first met Sam 5 years ago, and truth be told, we had our doubts. Could a man in his condition actually drive? Yup. 3 years later, he brought his much improved high-tech car to New York. We rode with him through Manhattan traffic from Harlem to Rockefeller Center. He has since raced up Pikes Peak and competed in an amateur race. What if, wondered the people at Arrow Electronics, they could get Sam walking?
When they presented you with the idea of let's try to do this, what did you say?
Where do I sign up? Where do I go? What do you want me to do?
We watched as Sam's team got him set up in an exoskeleton.
This is 1.0, clearly. Their goal with it is that I won't need to be balanced and that I will be able to operate it completely myself, which is a mega task.
Imagine walking without assistance. Sam does.
Do you dream about it?
You know, that's the funny thing, Harry. In 21 years, I've never had a dream where I was in a wheelchair.
Wow.
I'm always walking around, you know, with my kids and the race team and everything else.
That morning, Sam's racing team saw something they had never seen before. Their boss, not in a wheelchair.
What is it like for you to be standing up?
I've almost ran out of words to describe the feeling in this entire process. Epic, mega, unbelievable. After 21 years, I didn't remember what the view was like.
The view.
The view. I haven't gotten a full body hug in 21 years. And we got some of those today.
There were tears when Tim Bauman saw Sam that day.
That's pretty wild.
Bauman was part of the crew that pulled Sam from the wreckage 21 years ago.
Seems to me you were having a little trouble holding it together when you saw Sam walk up.
Yeah, it's not something we, you know, and I've been a paramedic for 38 years, and we have people with the prognosis. We don't see this. I mean, and to see it, it's inspirational as hell.
Pushing limits seems to be in Sam's DNA. The word can't is not in his vocabulary. Like building the Driven Neuro Recovery Center in Las Vegas and leading the Conquer Paralysis Now Foundation.
Do you feel like maybe there's a part of you that feels like maybe you were chosen? Like you're the guy who can rise above this?
Absolutely. Way, way, way more important than anything I could have done as a professional race car driver.
Standing up, getting out of the wheelchair, it's been a big spring for Sam.
I saw you coming onto this cart, and I kept looking at your empty wheelchair. What's it like for you to leave that behind?
It's amazing, and I think I'm ready to hang a for sale sign on it.
But most important of all was this moment.
Yes!
When he danced with his daughter at her wedding.
I'm surprised I have any tears left. You know, it's been a wild month.
And the wild spring continues for Sam. I'll tell you, I know, get the Kleenex out. It's just too much. he has 3 cars and 3 drivers on his team. All 3 qualified for the Indy race on Sunday.
Wow.
So, yeah, right. And as I say, and as he says, this gizmo that he's working with now, it's 1.0, sort of what the car was like 5 or 6 or 7 years ago. Who knows what it might turn into 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years in our future. Just amazing.
Trailblazer.
Wow. I'm just speechless here.
On so many levels. To dance with his daughter at her wedding.
Right.
Incredible.
Harry.
We love you.
Hey, Today All Day, we've got a great show for you on this Thursday morning, including an all-day exclusive chat you can only see here. But let's kick it off with pop star. Olympic-bound tennis champ Naomi Osaka shares an inside look at her personal life and training in an upcoming docuseries, and Carson has an exclusive look. Check it out.
Naomi Osaka there, the Olympics-bound tennis champ, is sharing an inside look at her personal life and training in an upcoming docuseries on Netflix. We've got an exclusive first look at the show now. In the clip, Osaka, who's been opening up recently about prioritizing her mental health, reveals the pressure she feels to maintain a certain image.
I feel like I always have this pressure to maintain like this squeaky image and not get into any controversy. And as long as I do that, then everything's chill.
You know exactly what you need to be at your best. I don't feel you need a lot of help from outside.
The docuseries Naomi Osaka starts streaming on Netflix tomorrow. Next up, another one of our favorite athletes we're looking forward to seeing in Tokyo, Simone Biles, the all-star gymnast who's already touched down in Japan, is on the cover of the latest edition of Sports Illustrated. Now, in the issue, Biles opens up about what it's been like to train for the delayed Olympics over the past year. The 24-year-old gymnast who already holds 30 medals from her world championship and Olympic wins, revealing how she knows, or how she will know when the right time is going to be to hang up that leotard and start the next chapter of her life.
Always have to give something you love up on your own time, and I think that's why I would stop, because I wouldn't want it taken from me and have a doctor say you can't do this or it'll be really like hurtful to you. So I'd rather just like hang it up myself. And you just have to learn when it's your time, right? Whenever that is.
The ripe old age of 24. That's when that is. You can, hopefully not though, you can grab the August Olympics preview issue of Sports Illustrated on stands now.
Up next on Today Talks, I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream. Alan, Dylan, Chanel map out the most popular ice cream flavors across the country. After this.
What should we watch for to find out whether this Geneva summit was worth it? What would it take for you to support this bipartisan infrastructure deal? What are the issues that the party stands for? That seems to be the missing piece here. If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Make the most of your day with
Today in
30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule, streaming every day on Today All Day. Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends at Today in a whole new way.
Today in
30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today Food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Get ready. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day.
Our week-long journey begins here in Orlando, Louisville, Kentucky, Cleveland. Our Across America journey, reporting on an America rebuilding and reimagining a future after the pandemic. Good evening tonight from Geneva, just hours away from his historic summit. Over 16,000 unaccompanied children tonight in custody. What's victory look like in this, or what does improvement look like? It's going to be a challenge to meet that 70% goal. Why is it so challenging?
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
Welcome back. Today on the third hour, the gang shares the most popular ice cream flavors in each state, according to an Instacart survey. Plus, is it too early for all that pumpkin flavor? I say yes. Take a look.
It is time for Over on Third. We're all about food this morning. Instacart looking at the most popular ice cream flavors, looking at sales in every state.
So disappointed by this.
Yeah, well,
I am.
My favorite actually is the number one flavor.
In New York?
No, across the country.
Oh.
Vanilla accounts for more than 26%
Do you
of
like
sales.
toppings on your vanilla, or do you like straight up?
I just like
vanilla?
straight up vanilla, maybe a little fudge.
Yeah.
But so we looked also at the popular flavors in each state besides vanilla. For Craig, Moose Tracks, popular in 12 states,
that's what is that?
including
It's got
South Carolina.
peanuts
It's got peanut butter cup and fudge in it.
Yum. That
So in
sounds
our home
yummy.
states, New York and New Jersey, Dylan and I,
I saw this bowl and I'm like,
I thought it was mint.
Mint.
And
That's
it's
not
not.
right.
It's pistachio. I'm not a big.
Pistachio ice cream.
Yeah, for you.
So here's the thing. I have sherbet and vanilla ice cream in mine. And it's so funny because I just whispered to Dylan. I said, my stepdad used to always have sherbet in the house. We had it growing up always. And then turns
That
out.
works out well.
Exactly. In Kansas, apparently, that's the number one brand.
Wow.
It's a little better if you mix the vanilla with the pistachio.
Yeah.
Not by much, though.
There you go. My stomach hurts. Sorry. It's too
Well,
much.
so we may scream for ice cream, but I just want to scream. Nestle bringing back pumpkin spice cookie dough at the beginning of August. What is up with that?
That's way too soon.
Never is too soon.
September's too soon.
People love pumpkin spice. You need to just get over it because they love it. And that's why pretty soon.
But there's no pumpkin in it. It's just.
Even
it's,
these cookies?
No.
Pretty soon it'll be year round. I don't think they should wait for the season.
So you like pumpkin bread and pumpkin cookies and muffins?
I like pumpkin pie. That's about it. You know, and after that. But when you get to these drinks and the thing, it's ridiculous.
It's phony.
It's bad.
But
Anyway.
August is way too soon.
So since we're talking about cookies coming in, is there such a thing as digging into the bread basket when you're at a restaurant too soon?
Oh,
when she brings it, or
When the
second
waiter-
it gets here, as she's putting it down, I'm like, thank you.
There's a woman who believes you should be waiting 5 minutes before reaching for the complimentary bread.
Why?
She says it's tacky for somebody to eat the free bread as soon as you get there.
Is it
360,000
free,
people
though?
voted.
I mean, meals cost enough. I
They
think
do.
The cost of
97% of you said it's not tacky.
I was just about to say.
I as soon as it hits the, and by the way, if it's the bread basket that have different kind of rolls, and you
gotta dig
like a
in
pretzel
right away.
roll, a good pretzel roll, I'm going right in because
gotta
somebody
get
else
it.
may.
You got to dip down for the butter.
Get in there.
That's funny.
And here's another tip, restaurants. Please don't keep your butter in the fridge so that it's rock hard when it comes
Put
out.
it in with the warm bread.
Exactly.
The worst is when you go to
mush it to make it softer.
Yeah, well, if it comes in those individual packets, you start kneading them just to get them nice and
Sit on them a
soft.
little
You know?
bit.
I don't, because sometimes you forget that you've been sitting on the butter,
You're
and
sitting
then
on
all of a
butter.
sudden you get up and people go, "What happened there?"
There's nothing worse than going to like a fancy restaurant and not getting free bread.
I can give you 5 things worse than that.
But these days,
I'm looking around and I'm like, I should
See, a lot,
the table.
you know, it's the classy restaurant. They don't bring you the bread till you're after
Unless
you've
you
ordered.
Well,
I know.
That's it. So put in an order, eat the bread, then leave.
Coming up on Hoda and Jenna, Mindy Kaling shares an exclusive look at season 2 of her popular Netflix show, Never Have I Ever. Stay with us.
Talent and perseverance, inspiring America.
I've been preparing for a moment like this for my whole life. I have lots of songs and lots of stuff to share.
I want to show my daughter what it's like to overcome adversity.
So many reasons to cheer for that young lady.
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
We are going to be cheering you on all the way.
Hoda is going to renew their vows right here. Cheers to you.
Cheers.
We've been watching Chanel bust a move all morning.
New meaning to the expression rise and shine.
Jenna, nearly 2 miles in the air.
Your Gampy would be so proud.
Oh, thank you, Al.
Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends at Today in a whole new way.
Today in
30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today Food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Get ready. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast. Free wherever you get your podcasts.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
We are going to be cheering you on all the way.
Hoda is going to renew their vows right here. Cheers to you.
New meaning to the expression
talent, and perseverance, inspiring America.
I've been preparing for a moment like this for my whole life. I have lots of songs and lots of stuff to share.
I want to show my daughter what it's like to overcome adversity.
So many reasons to cheer for that young lady.
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back today on Hoda and Jen, and we sit down with Mindy Kaling alongside rising star Maitreyi Ramakrishnan to talk about season 2 of Mindy's popular Netflix show, Never Have I Ever. Check it out. So you had a really cool day with somebody that we love. We talked a little bit yesterday. You got to interview Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman, he's amazing. He's like an amazing human, yeah.
And he posted about you.
You know what? I was surprised. So we went to this place called The Edge in New York, which is 100 stories up. It overlooks Manhattan. It's so high. And that glass that we were
see-through,
you could see all the way down. You could see taxis driving. It was totally and completely
Can I just
scary.
say though, I think people look at you and see courageous.
Oh no.
Or brave. You are though, in so many ways. But one thing you hate.
Yeah.
And I didn't know this about you till like a couple years ago in Rio is heights.
I don't like that kind of heights. Like, I don't mind a plane for some reason. Like, flying is okay. I feel like safe in there.
Yeah.
But that kind of thing, it's weird how it is. And it's called The Edge for a reason.
Did you have to hold on to Hugh a little tight? I thought so.
But I have to tell you, he's so gracious. There were so many people who couldn't believe that Wolverine was there. They were like, Hugh, my kid. They were like shoving their kids in front of him. He's such a good guy. And by the way, I just want to comment, his team is amazing. He had to take a private call from his wife and his the person who's been with him, his publicist was there, and she hands him the phone and puts her hand on his mic and goes, go. And then takes him. Like, it was like a machine, but really super kind people. No, I was totally digging everybody there. So we also want to shout out one of our viewers. Her name is Natasha Hextall Johnson. Jenna, she watched a skydive last month. She was so inspired. I could watch this forever. Look how you were kind of sideways. You know what struck me about that, just to recap for a second? You went from terrified to, can we do some tricks in like 1 second? Look at your hands. You were like, what do I do?
The jumping out is the worst part, but they did.
Well, this wonderful woman, Natasha, wrote in, said that she wanted to celebrate their anniversary. So Natasha and her husband, Jamel.
No.
Yes, they did. They went to Vegas.
Oh my gosh.
She jumped
She's smiling.
for your grandfather.
Oh, that is so
She said, you
sweet.
jump for your grandfather, they jump for love.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Oh my God, look at them.
They did it together. How sweet is that?
Oh my God,
Natasha?
she looks so happy too, Natasha.
Oh, Natasha, congratulations.
Oh my God, wait, she looks so calm. Natasha, Jamel,
congratulations.
you did it for love.
And
Jenna
happy
did it for her
anniversary.
grandfather.
And we
That's
both
pretty
did it for
awesome.
love in different ways, right?
I think that's when it works. You know,
You do
love of
things for
someone
love.
else. Yeah. Not your own, thing. That's really cool.
Well, we've been sending a lot of love to Britney Spears recently, and she posted a Instagram yesterday, horseback riding and doing cartwheels. She's celebrating. She says she feels grateful and blessed, and she even used the hashtag #FreeBritney for the first time.
Yeah, it was a really, really emotional day in court for Britney. So she actually spoke out against her father's conservatorship. She was impassioned. She was emotional. And the judge did do something, and this was a big victory for her. This sounds so small, but it's actually a really big deal. He allowed her to choose her own attorney.
I mean, can you
that's
imagine?
what he gave. I can't believe she hasn't always had that.
No, she hasn't been able to, which also hinders her trial. It's crazy.
Matthew Rosengart is a celebrity power attorney. He's represented people like Ben Affleck, Steven Spielberg. He's not usually in that conservatorship world, but like they were saying, when you come in with fresh eyes, you turn over each piece of paper, you read everything. It's not like you say, well, I know this, but really the judge is going to be the one to decide.
Yes.
But it's good that she finally, she
has a choice.
She had an attorney, but not one of her choosing.
Yeah, exactly. So he says he's going to file a petition to get Jamie Spears out as quickly as possible, and the next court date is scheduled for September.
All right, what is happening with Melissa McCarthy?
Melissa McCarthy is one of those hilarious
I love her.
friends. Okay, so you know when a friend of yours maybe hurts themselves, sprains an ankle, something bad happens?
Yeah.
Well, Mariska Hargitay has been dealing with a recent injury. She keeps hurting herself, it feels like, but her right cast is her right ankle is in a cast, okay?
Ouch.
So Melissa shared this video on Instagram. And she wrote.
What did she say?
It says,
sign
honk if you're praying for Mariska
Hargitay's recovery. And people are honking.
And look, I just love that she's jumping up in front of a Wiener Schnitzel.
She says if you can't produce quality care for your friend after ankle surgery, the next best thing, obviously, is standing outside of a Wiener Schnitzel with a sign.
Honk, she said. Mariska Hargitay reposted the video writing, honk if you're blown away by Melissa's heart and humor. Might be worth breaking my ankle for. It's so
my
true.
gosh, that is so sweet.
To have friends that do hilarious things like that.
Yes, and just like do anything for you.
Why was she standing in front of a Wiener Schnitzel?
I don't know, but it was perfect.
I didn't know Wiener Schnitzel still exists. I'm sorry that I'm stuck in the Wiener Schnitzel, but that's where I am.
I know, I didn't know either. All right,
so
that's
cute.
super sweet. Jenna, I know you don't like to throw around the world literally, but in this case, there is one person who literally can do it all in Hollywood, and that is our pal, Mindy Kaling. She's an actress, she's a comedian, she's a writer, she's a producer, she's a director,
And
she's a mama.
mother.
She
She
can do
does
it all.
We've seen her work on shows like The Office, where she played Kelly Kapoor for 8 seasons, and of course, The Mindy Project, which she not only starred in, but she also created. And now the New York Times best-selling author is out with a season 2 of her wildly popular Netflix show. It's called Never Have I Ever, another project she, of course, created and wrote.
Yeah, it's a coming-of-age comedy about the complicated life of a first-generation Indian-American teenager named Davy, played by Tracee. In this scene, Davy is spying on her mother while she's on a date. Take a look.
Basically stripping. Davy, don't jump to conclusions. Let's see if she answers a text from her only child. How's the work dinner? Getting a lot done?
It's just...
My mom just left me on red.
Oh, Mindy and Tracee.
That's big right there.
On a date with Common.
Good. It's really good.
on a date with Common.
I know, on a hot date with Common.
Mindy, did you know she was magic? Did you know that Tracee was magic right away?
From the moment we met her. She is the most exceptional young actress that I've ever met. She's also my daughter.
Yeah.
And I thought that this would be a good time to tell everyone.
To come clean about the nepotism that happened on Never Have I Ever. There was some nepotism, and we're talking about it
I wish
now.
she was my daughter. No, she was just this incredibly talented high school kid who thought she thought she could do it, and we saw her and we're like, she's a star. So we feel so lucky to have her.
And Tracee, is it true that you saw a tweet and you just thought, you know what,
Let me try.
haven't been in any show, but let me just give it a try?
Yeah, actually, it was my best friend who saw it, and they sent it to me and were like, yo, we could have fun with this. So we decided to just go to our library community center and start filming.
I can't even believe that this is how it began, and it's magic. Mindy, this idea, obviously, it's very close to your heart, this idea. So are you using stuff that's ripped from your own headlines?
Yeah, I created the show with my friend Lang Fisher, and we were both nerds in high school, but we were ambitious and wanted to have boyfriends, and I just felt like we didn't really get to see that side of nerds, especially Asian women. We're usually depicted as kind of, demure, and I like this character because she's feisty and smart and has an anger problem, so it was unusual.
So it's a little bit like you. No, you don't have an anger problem at all.
A little bit, yeah.
I read how much Mindy has been an inspiration to you, Tracee, that you think of her as a mentor. Tell us why.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us why.
I mean, okay, obviously, huge fan of The Office, my favorite comedy of all time. But, of course, she plays Kelly Kapoor. But I think she's written some of the best episodes on The Office, in my expert Office opinion. So I was like, she knows, all the comedic jokes and does everything. I'm not even, trying to kiss her,
Listen, I'll take it.
She can do it all.
Tell me more.
No one can say that Mindy Kaling does not work hard, because that is, just a lie. She always is working on something.
And
it's amazing.
And to have someone, Tracee, who you connected to, who looks like you.
Yeah.
You're like, wow, I get it.
Yeah, honestly, I'm so thankful to have Mindy Kaling as my first boss. But as The Office says, Michael Scott, friend first, boss second.
Oh, I love that. Okay, Mindy, Legally Blonde celebrated We did a little bend and snap around here for Reese. 20th anniversary. Are you done writing? Have you finished writing the script? Where are you?
We're in the middle of it. We actually just had a call with Reese last week to talk about it. And, I mean, she's such a great creative partner for that project. So, yeah, fingers crossed we'll see more of it soon.
Do we have any idea, what is the concept?
We know she's older. What's happening to her?
I cannot say anything. What a lame answer this is. I can't really say anything about it. I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay. Should we play a little game?
Wait.
We'll see some familiar faces.
Okay. Oh, familiar faces. That's good to know. All right, we're going to play a little game, kids. It's called Never Have I Ever, the late night edition. So this is things you've done. Jenna dropped her mic.
I dropped my paddle, and I want to play.
All right, things we've done as a teenager. Okay. Are you guys ready?
Okay.
Yeah, we're ready.
Never have I ever crawled in or out of a window to sneak out at night. I have never. We're lame.
Okay, never have I ever snooped through a family member's phone after they went to bed.
When we were little, nobody had phones.
Never. No.
Oh, wait. Haven't.
You have?
You have.
Oh, my baby.
When did you do that? Whose phone? Tell us.
Definitely, honestly, everyone's phones in my family because I know everyone's passwords, everyone's email passwords, everyone's, I have a really good memory for that stuff.
Oh, that's so awesome.
All right.
You guys, congratulations.
Congrats,
this
Mindy.
show is a huge hit, and we cannot wait to
Congrats,
see
my
season
Trey.
2.
We can't wait to see her future, too. It's going to be a big one. The second season starts streaming on Netflix today. Okay, kiddos, it is time for Unscripted. Okay, so I've been noticing something that's becoming a big thing
trend?
on Instagram.
What is it?
It's called a dump, a photo dump.
I didn't expect the word dump.
A photo dump.
Where everybody just takes all of their remaining things and dumps
So
it.
it's tell me, because I don't know, but I did notice it a couple. It's does it mean I've got a lot of cool pictures on my phone, but I just decided I'm just going to put them all, and they don't have any rhyme or reason. They're just,
I don't know. I sort of did, evidently 700,000. I guess I did a photo dump right here. Did I say photo dump on it? I sure did. So I've been inspired to do a photo dump, and yes, there's no rhyme and reason.
So it just, is that a rainbow? Wait, what?
Yes, that's a rainbow. That's how. They have no rhyme or reason. That's how. That's 4th of July.
So it could be from anywhere. Jumping in. Wait, I want to see the rainbow.
I jumped in the lake, and that's a rainbow.
Is that a real true? That's a full-on one. Who was you with there?
That was with Farrell, my best pal, and we saw a rainbow.
Was that when you were at camp?
Yeah, it was when we were at camp. And we jumped in the lake, and the bottom was all mushy and disgusting, just the way you remember it.
Yes.
But yeah, I guess that all of the pics come from different places. I guess I noticed people, and I was influenced by influencers on an influencing place called Instagram, because I didn't even realize I did that. But yes, pics come from all over, and you just dump them there.
I think it's good.
Do you want to do it?
Maybe I'll try that. I mean, I was just hoping I was just thinking about watching Simone Biles and all those guys land in Tokyo.
Yes.
I hope that they document their time.
They will.
Yeah, I was just thinking, there's so many people who you want to get a little insight in what's happening. I'd like a photo dump from Simone and company while they're out there.
Are you going to do some dumps while you're there?
Gross. Anthony just said, I'm doing one right here. Okay.
A brain dump?
And by the way, not a brain dump.
But they say that it kind of returns to the authenticity, right, of Instagram. It's you don't have to do a perfect post. But none of us ever did that.
No.
Anyway, so
I think spending a lot of time on your
Instagram?
post is and how it looks. But I know people do that.
Anthony, do you do it? No. Anthony, where are you?
By the way, what did he say? What did he say?
Not in front of the kids.
Not in front of the kids. Y'all are sick.
Oh,
but one thing that we just had Chip and Joanna on, one of the things she said that I thought was a real good life thing we could all implement in our homes. If you have kids with cell phones, Joanna Gaines says that they have a rule, because I said, how do you deal with phones? You have 16-year-old, 15, whatever. She said they always have their phones by their side, and I noticed when they buzz, they went like this, bzz, that was my phone. Oh, is that your phone?
So
is
you're
that my phone?
constantly looking.
So she said, here's the rule for grown-ups and kids. We have a charge station. Your phone has to be there. You can go and check on it every so often and check, but you have to be intentional about it, but they stay there. She said, sometimes we're all standing there.
Yeah.
But that's okay, because you're not doing...
In your room, reading a book and then looking down.
Even us, when we hear, was that someone's phone? That's what you say.
Y'all, let's get rid of phones, but we can't, can we?
No.
Today Talks continues after the break. Don't miss our exclusive chat you can only see here on Today All Day.
Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends at Today in a whole new way.
Today in
30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Joe Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today Food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Get ready. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
We are going to be cheering you on all the way.
Oda is going to renew their vows right here. Cheers to you.
Cheers.
We've been watching Chanel bust a move all morning.
New meaning. See the expression? Rise and shine.
Jenna, nearly 2 miles in the air.
This is amazing! Yes!
Your Gampy would be so proud.
Oh, thank you, Al.
Make the most of your day with
Today in
30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule, streaming every day on Today All Day.
Welcome back to Today Talks and our exclusive content you can only see here on Today All Day.
You know what I loved about having Chip and Joanna in the studio? First of all, they're so kind and cool to everybody.
Aren't they?
And second of all, I love your bond with them because there's such a connect. I mean, not just Texas. Like, I know that that's a part of it. But you could tell that they feel like when I saw them a couple of times around just for whatever, I go, you're going to see Jenna tomorrow. We can't wait. Like, there's such a love. How did you first even know about
I'll
them?
never forget. My mom called me. She'd gone to Joanna's first store. It wasn't
the little one,
the tiny little store that she had in Texas, in Waco, and it was close to where my mom and dad spend a lot of time. And so my mom went there and she said, "I just met this darling girl named Joanna, and you should. She's starting a show on HGTV. Maybe it was in its first season.
Yeah.
This was a long
time ago, right?"
And she said she has really cute stuff. When you come next, I'm going to take you to her store. She went again. She I kind of had this major girl crush. Joanna Gaines and my mom are very similar.
Yeah. Oh, they've got, yeah.
Because they have the kind of low key.
Yeah.
And then they married the wild, you know? And and Joanna doesn't need to be in the spotlight.
No,
do you notice how she sort of lets him?
Mm-hmm.
And they have this yin and yang that's really beautiful.
So when did you first meet them?
So I met them. My mom said, "You have to come do a story." And I kind of thought oh, Mom, that's so cute,
sweet.
you know? And then she was right. Their show took off. And I got to go down there. I mean, I can't remember the first time I went. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I got to go see them and hang out with them. And then I've gone again. I've gone a couple times.
There's such a connection. I mean, you can really feel it. And they have, I mean, when you think about it, they've been married 18 years. They've been working together. And they said something interesting at one point. They said it used to be when they didn't work together, Chip would go and do his work, and she was, doing her thing. And when they came together, they weren't in sync. Mm-hmm. She said they realized they were off. She goes, we weren't in sync. It took us a while, and sometimes we'd even get further away. It would take days sometimes to reconnect. And so they decided that they were better together. They were better together because they didn't have that time apart, and it ended up working for them. The other piece of advice that he had, which I thought was interesting, he said, when they fight, and all couples do, he said, often fights pull you apart like a tug of war kind of thing. He said they decided that they were going to pull together and talk about the issue. Like, in other words, we're not fighting each other. We're both pulling together against this issue. This is what our problem is, this issue. I'm not fighting you and you're not fighting me.
We're both, love that?
Yes, we're both fighting that together.
And it's so interesting though too, because you read a lot of people's recommendation in marriage, and some, and I think I just read this about former President Jimmy Carter and his wife Rosalind. They said the time apart actually was very healthy for them. So it just depends on you as a couple.
Like I was thinking to work day in and day out, to have 5 children, to be, in each other's space is a lot. But
they must really, really like each other.
Yeah, they said that they needed to be there. But I think how people deal with conflicts, because it's easy to retreat to your corner. It's easy to say, sometimes to stand in it. And Joanna said when Chip made that analogy of let's pull together against that thing, she said it was like the lights went on. She said it was like an analogy I understood. And she said I felt it. And we've always addressed our arguments that way.
And that's such a brilliant thing, too, because they know they're these team players in every aspect of their life. So, let's not, tit for tat each other. Let's go in.
I thought that was cool.
Let's
do
it.
Is that it?
That's it.
Okay, that was a fun Today's Talks. Keep watching, you guys. There's more of Today All Day.
Everybody. Hi. First of all, congratulations. I can say you're an Olympian. Does it feel that way yet? Raise your hand if you feel like an Olympian. Raise your hand if it still isn't quite sinking in yet that you're an Olympian.
Yeah. I'm 18, I'm Phoebe Bacon.
I'm 19, I'm Alex Walsh.
I'm 19, I'm Reagan Smith.
I'm 19, I'm Kate Douglas.
I'm 18, I'm Tori Husk.
I am 17, I'm Lydia Jacoby.
I'm 19 and I'm Jake Mitchell.
I'm 19 and I'm Emma White.
I'm 17 and I'm Claire Curzan.
I'm 16 and I'm Bella Sims.
I'm 15 and I'm Katie Grimes.
Jake, how does it feel being the only guy? You're holding it down.
Yeah, I don't know, it's fun.
So Claire, let me start with you, Claire. You just turned 17 years old, is that right?
Yes.
I hear you had a unique training setup during the pandemic, because a lot of people realize that, look, things were postponed for a while. Things have been kind of weird, but now you're back in it. But what were you doing during the pandemic to stay in shape?
So my neighbor had a backdoor pool, so I was able to kind of steal her pool for a little bit and use a bungee cord to do some resistance training. So it was pretty chilly, and I had a wetsuit on for a while, but it was really great to be in the water.
So you're literally in your neighbor's pool during the pandemic using bungee cords just to try to stay fit.
Yeah.
But clearly it all paid off.
It did.
How old are you, Katie?
I'm 15.
You're 15 years old?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's cool, but I don't know. I was just telling them, I'm like the youngest in everything. Like I'm the youngest in our swim team group, the youngest in my family. At some point, I was the youngest to qualify for the trials, so it's just kind of fitting.
How long have you been swimming?
I started my club team when I was about 5, so like about a decade.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So Reagan, you are 19 years old. This is what we think is pretty cool. You posted a picture of yourself. It was on Instagram. I think it was a yearbook picture from when you were 11 years old. Is that right?
Yes, that is right.
Tell me about that picture and what did the caption say underneath it?
Yeah, so it was like my 5th grade yearbook, and it was what we wanted to be when we grew up, and I said that I wanted to be an Olympian. Yeah.
Oh,
very sweet.
They say what you think about, you bring about, and so now here you are all these years later as an Olympian, one of the teenagers on the team. You guys are making history as teenagers. What about for you? How does this feel? Is it surreal? I mean, again, this is something you've been working for years.
Yeah, definitely. It feels like a dream come true, absolutely. And it always sort of felt like an unattainable dream just because the Olympics are so romanticized. And especially with this pandemic going on, we didn't really know, if the Olympics were going to happen at all. So it's very cool and very surreal that they're happening and I get to be a part of it. So it's very special.
So I'm sitting here, I'm talking to you guys, and I'm thinking about all of the kids and teenagers, not just in the US, but around the world who swim. And yet here you are, 11 of you, and you made the cut. Does it sink in that you're frankly one of the best swimmers in the world?
No, not at all.
What about for you, Reagan? When I say you guys and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, you guys are some of the best swimmers in the world. Does that sink in?
Not really, honestly, because when we're all here together, it just feels like a normal group of kids.
So Lydia, you are 17 years old, and as I understand it, you are the first Olympic swimmer to come from Alaska. Is that right?
Yeah, it is.
The state must be thrilled for you. Tell me about the support that you're getting from the folks in Alaska.
Yeah, it's been so cool. I know Alaska itself is a really small community just because our population size is so small, but within that, Alaska swimming is an even tighter community, so that's been great to have all that support. And when I came back from in the airport, everybody came and met me, and yeah, it's been great.
When you landed and you went back home in June, when you landed at the airport, how did it feel to see that crowd and all of those people there just to support you?
It was crazy. I mean, I've been getting tons of texts and messages and stuff, like I couldn't even keep up with it, but to just see that in person when I came home was another whole thing, so that was pretty cool.
Is there an adjustment going from, a small swim club at home to, Olympic training camp in Hawaii?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, at home, I have people to train with, but nobody to go to meets with and everything, so it's just been really neat getting to train with people who are on my level and can push me.
Is it different? I read that this training camp in Hawaii is the first time you've consistently worked out in a 50-meter pool.
Yeah, we only have one 50-meter pool in Alaska, and they keep it in short course, so this is my first time swimming long course. Yeah.
What? Are you guys surprised? I guess you did. So wait, Phoebe, you're 18 years old. You're from Maryland. So this is what is really cool. So tell me if this is true. In pre-K, you were paired with a 4th grade mentor. Can you tell everybody who that was?
It was Katie Ledecky.
What are the odds? What was she like?
Yeah, I know when I was that young, I don't think me or her knew what swimmers we were going to become. And then it was just, we were becoming friends. And that kind of started our relationship to now being on the same Olympic team together.
It has to be somewhat surreal. I'm from Wichita, Kansas, right? So the odds that I end up working with somebody else from my hometown on the Today Show would be very odd. So for you, what are the odds that you guys were swimming as little ones and now you're together at the Olympics? Isn't that nuts?
Yeah, I think it's wild, especially, I don't know how they paired us up because we have both very different personalities, but it's just crazy.
And then when you saw her as an Olympian, I guess it was back in 2012, did you think, I want to do that too?
Yeah, that was the first moment I kind of felt like the Olympic dream was possible for me. Just from her being from a small community, and maybe I could too.
Phoebe, how much work, goes on behind the scenes? What don't we see when it comes to making a spot?
I think it's a lot of work. There's all the recovery, and then there's the fueling and nutrition, and then if you're in school, you're also doing that on the side, and it's a lot to take in, but we seem to all kind of balance it well, and I feel like swimmers are really good at time management, which really helps.
How often are you swimming a day, Phoebe?
Either once or twice a day. Usually for me, some days I'll have an hour and a half practices, and then other days it'll be up to 3 hours. It kind of depends if I'm swimming once or twice a day.
Make the most of your day with
Today in
30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule, streaming every day on Today All Day.
What should we watch for to find out whether this Geneva summit was worth it? What would it take for you to support this bipartisan infrastructure deal? What are the issues that the party stands for? That seems to be the missing piece here. If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Tonight, we're on the scene as the urgent search for survivors is underway after the deadly collapse of a high-rise building.
Buildings don't fall down in America like this.
The Delta variant. What does this mean for people who are fully vaccinated?
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
We are going to be cheering you on all the way.
Hoda is going to renew their vows right here. Cheers to you.
To the expression, rise and shine.
Tonight, we're on the scene as the urgent search for survivors is underway after the deadly collapse of a high-rise building.
Buildings don't fall down in America like this.
The Delta variant. What does this mean for people who are fully vaccinated?
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Kate Douglas and Alice Walsh. You're both 19 years old?
Yes.
So this is so cool because you both swim for UVA and you punched your ticket to Tokyo, during the same race. What was that moment like for you two?
Yeah, I mean, I just remember, in the warm-up pool before the race, our coach looked at us and he was like, just let's do this together, let's make the team together. And I mean, I was a little bit scared to say that because I think I was kind of in denial that I even had a chance of making the team, but I think it definitely helped motivate me just knowing that me and my teammate can make the team together. So that was just super exciting.
And how cool is that? You guys came in first and second, right?
Yeah.
When you're swimming, I've always wondered, what's on your mind? I mean, you guys are so fast, you're so good. Are you in a zone or, what are you thinking about when every millisecond counts?
Oh, I mean, I guess at the end of that race, I'm thinking about the pain of the race and trying to push it out of my mind so that I can finish the race as fast as I can. In that race, I just put my head down once I got to the flags, and I knew that was my last chance to finish the race and try to get a spot on the team.
And what about you, Alex, when you're going into something like that?
Yeah, I would say the finals at Olympic trials is a really unique atmosphere that I know it's really hard to prepare for just because the nerves and they're really high. But yeah, I'm really grateful that I had Kate next to me because we're training partners and I knew we know how the other one is going to swim the race and we both know that it's going to be really close on the last 50 meters of freestyle. So having her there, I think that was really good for both of us.
And Alex, what did your family think?
I saw my mom was crying obviously a lot. I think they were feeling a lot of the emotions that I was feeling too. I think people kind of forget that the family it's kind of like a team effort almost just because everyone has their own support system going through the same thing. So I think they were just as happy as I was.
Tori, you are 18 years old from Virginia.
Yeah.
We were just talking about the fact that so many athletes were bummed, because the Olympics were delayed a year. But did you think perhaps maybe it helped younger athletes like you guys? It gave you a little bit more time, or what do you think about that extra time?
I think it probably made a huge difference in all of our swimming this year. I feel like the extra year really gave us time to perfect our technique and also I feel for the younger athletes, I feel strength, at least for me, was a really important and game-changing aspect of my swimming. So it gave me a whole another year to work on my strength training and just to get stronger. So I feel for me it made a really big difference.
So in some ways it was like a silver lining to have that extra time.
Yeah, I feel obviously COVID wasn't great, but I feel I tried to be optimistic and to make the best out of it.
Bella, you are 16 years old from Vegas.
Yes.
Is it true that you only started swimming 6 years ago?
Yeah, I started swimming when I was 10, yeah.
And now you're an Olympian? What made you decide to start 6 years ago?
My friends swim and I would just go over their house and have sleepovers and they'd have to go to practice and I'd just have to watch and I was like, dang, that's kind of fascinating. I want to try. And then I did lessons and the instructor was like, you're kind of good. You should try developmental, the swim team. And going from 5 meters to the 25 is a push. And then I realized I loved it when my parents were would ask me and yeah.
You're so laid back about it. You're oh yeah, I just go in, I just swim, but you're obviously really good. How would you describe your journey to get here? How much did it take behind the scenes to get that spot?
Definitely practicing some every day. I used to watch YouTube videos on how to perfect my technique and I would try to use it in practice. And if I ever felt I needed more work, I'd go to the gym with my brother or stuff like that.
Tonight, we're on the scene as the urgent search for survivors is underway after the deadly collapse of a high-rise building.
Buildings don't fall down in America like this.
The Delta variant. What does this mean for people who are fully vaccinated?
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright. Are you ready? We're going to do our part to spread the word on the importance of vaccines, so crucial for reopening America.
A big day around here, a very special naturalization ceremony.
Many of them doctors, nurses, other essential workers.
If you are a nurse, thank you.
Spring has sprung, guys, and we want to fill this season with some fun and surprises.
Yes.
This is the face of excitement.
Celebrating Earth Day.
Let's change the world. Love it! Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
I'm rolling up my sleeves for science, so I'll survive if I contract this virus. For family dinners, family vacations, family anything. For traveling somewhere beyond my living room. And for the Rebels, there is no greater feeling than being in the stadium and cheering on Ole Miss. And now it's your turn. Roll up your sleeves, America. Plan your vaccine, because every shot counts. Visit planyourvaccine.com and make your plan.
Make the most of your day with
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Savannah and Hoda bring you what you must know. The biggest moments of the morning.
One Republic!
Exclusive interviews.
Why did it work for you?
You're right. I am more talented than the rest.
And important headlines.
Major medical news this morning.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule. Streaming every day on Today All Day.
Jake, you're 19, right?
Yeah.
From Indiana. And so you had placed second in the 400 freestyle, but didn't make the qualifying time for the Olympics. So you had to do a time trial by yourself to see if you could beat that time. How nerve-wracking was that?
It was pretty nerve-wracking. I mean, the entire day kind of leading up to it, I was kind of wondering if I'd be able to do it because I couldn't do it in finals, and I never really had like a tapered meet like kind of leading up to that, so I didn't know exactly how fast I was going to go. I just knew that I had trained really well for it. But then as it got closer, I just was trying to shift my mindset to being more grateful for having the opportunity to get another chance at it. And yeah, so that nerve just turned into excitement.
Wait, Jake, did you just give us some words of wisdom? So when you're crazy nervous, as opposed to just racking your brain with nerves, you find a space for gratitude. Does that help?
Absolutely. At my club team, growing up, we always had like talks about gratitude and how powerful it can be if you use it in the right way. So just like working on the mental side of things really helped me in that kind of situation.
So I am not an Olympic swimmer, but can I tell you, Jake, that I honestly think that you just taught us something, whether you are a swimmer, whether you're a teacher, whether you're a dancer, you know, whether you're a student, we all feel nerves sometimes. And I guess I never thought about taking those, you know, that anxiety and trying to fuel it into being, you know, gracious. That's awesome. And it also helps me, it reminds me, you know, how much would you say, Jake, when it comes to swimming or when things get really competitive, how much of it is a mind game or is mental versus the skill set itself? Is it a balance?
Like for us, like when you get to a meet, it's like all the mental side because all the physical stuff's done. So it's really just like about focusing on yourself and what you can do and like the controllables, not focusing on things that are out of your control, just making sure that you're doing the best that you can to be the best that you can be. And
what does your family think about this, Jake?
They were super excited. I remember like after I finished the race, I like ran outside and gave my parents a hug, and I had family all around kind of texting me and calling me and congratulating me, so it was really, really nice.
And is it true, you guys, tell me the record, is this the most teenagers they've had since 1996? Did I read that? Emma, let me bring you in here. You train, I know, and train for this moment, but it still has to be so overwhelming, if you will. Have you received any advice that gets you through?
I actually met Elizabeth Biles at trials after my 4 a.m., which is so cool because I've looked up to her for so long. And it's really an honor to follow in her footsteps. She gave me a card and she talked to me about having the 4 a.m. on the first day of the meet and kind of how to handle the pressures of it all, which was so cool.
How many of you are on Instagram? Show of hands. Show of hands, how many of you are on TikTok?
Oh, yeah.
So I guess this is just the way of the future. Do you ever find yourself reading comments, or does it fuel you in a positive way? I mean, for any teenager, social media, has its pros and cons. What about for you guys?
I mean, I think most of the comments were positive after that. Like leading up to the meet, I tried to stay off social media of all the swimming stuff, but I mean, after it was all just mainly like congratulations, which I'm super thankful for my family and friends.
I know sometimes when I have a long day, I'll be honest, I'll open up Instagram and I'll kind of scroll, and it kind of takes me away, kind of lets my mind relax a little bit. What about for you guys? How do you unwind, if you will? Because I know that it's probably stressful.
I mean, I think I try to separate swimming from the rest of my life when I get home, kind of try to shut that off. Like hang out with my sisters, I have 3 of them, and kind of like unplug and think about the next day.
I read for somebody, this is your first time traveling out of the country. Who is that for? Raise your hand if this is your first time traveling. How does that feel?
Good. I mean, if I'm gonna go out of the country for my first time, might as well be for the Olympics.
So you're training right now with some legends. First of all, going to Hawaii any day would be awesome, but training there with Olympic legends. Is there anybody that you're like secretly kind of geeking out for or seeing?
I'd say just kind of everyone. Like the first day, Coach Greg told us just to get in the lane with people you don't know. So obviously this is kind of one of my big first national team trips. So I got in the lane with Kayla Decky, which was crazy because I mean, I used to only see her on like media and stuff, so she's been so nice and just welcoming to us, and it's been great just getting to know everyone.
I've always wanted to train with Ryan Murphy, just because like he's like such a legend in the like backstroke community, and last night I finally got to like train right next to him, and it was like such an awesome moment.
How about for any of you, is there anybody, even going to Tokyo, I know it's going to be a little different this year, but is there anybody you love to meet that's an Olympian with any sport? Anybody?
I want to meet Simone Biles. Me too. She's so cool. Yeah.
What is it about Simone Biles that you guys admire?
She's the GOAT. Yeah. Yeah. She rocks. I just think she's so cool. I love watching her like highlight reels at her competitions.
Well, I can't wait to watch your highlight reel as well. Okay, I know you guys are all still getting to know each other, but who would you say, is there anybody in this group that has the most intense pre-race superstition?
Me? Yeah.
What do I do?
She's like, I'm like, it's so scary. It's so intimidating. Because she comes out.
That's so funny. What does that do? Does that just hype you up?
Yeah, it just gets me going. It's got to scare the competition.
Who would you say, and again, I know you guys are just gelling as a team, but who would you say is the most relaxed before a race?
I don't think anyone's relaxed.
Anybody goof off during training, or who's the comedian? Who likes to have fun?
Phoebe.
You again?
She likes to joke in the ready room.
I mean, like, and what is it? Does it just kind of keep the attitude light, or what's your thought?
Like, I like swimming mostly just because it is so much fun. And like just today at practice, we were definitely doing a hard set, and like I was trying to keep everybody positive. I feel like just because like I enjoy it, and I want everybody else to enjoy it.
What is it like there in Hawaii? Who's there? What are you seeing? What are you doing?
I think it's gorgeous. Yeah. I mean, outside all of our windows are just like this beautiful, like multi-blue colored beaches, like ocean, and then like we're walking around outside and it's just nice out. It's sunny all the time. Like coming from a Wisconsin winter, this is amazing.
Does it feel, for any of you guys, does it feel surreal?
Yeah. It's just now kind of starting to sink in now that we're like all together and like you're spending time with everyone, but it's still definitely surreal.
What are you most looking forward to in Tokyo?
Trading pins. Yeah. Oh yeah. Wearing the flag on my head. That's probably the coolest part.
Probably meeting people from other countries.
Yeah. Do you get to do the opening ceremony?
I think if you swim later in the meet, you're allowed to, or like you're more likely to.
You know, you guys are still young, but did any of you ever watch the Olympics and look at swimming and just dream and wish that maybe one day you two can be there?
Yeah.
All of you?
Yeah.
Show of hands, how many of you watched the Olympics in years past and dreamed of being there? That's amazing. What is it that you love about swimming in this sport?
I'm just like super competitive, and I love the fact that everyone gets to push each other and then but I think we're all pretty supportive of each other, and it just makes everything better.
And Tori, how does it feel when you're in that water and you're swimming, you're doing the butterfly, like I don't even know the terminology. How does it feel when you're at your best? What does that feel like?
Well, in a race, I feel like I'm not really even thinking. Like I'm kind of just like going. I feel like thinking, I guess, is more like for practice. But when I'm at my best, I feel like my mind is pretty blank.
And my last question, somebody speak in behalf of all of you, what it feels like to be a teenager at the Olympics. You guys are seriously making records as this team being so young. Somebody speak in behalf of all of you, what you want the country to know from you guys.
Dream big, have fun. I don't know. It's an honor to be here, and it's so fun that we can represent our country, hopefully for many more years to come.
Well, thank you guys so much. All the best. We'll be rooting for you. I mean, gosh, at 15 years old, 17, 19, the sky is the limit. Thank you guys so much. And good luck in Tokyo.
Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends at Today in a whole new way.
Today in
30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today Food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Get ready. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
We are going to be cheering you on all the way.
Hoda is going to renew their vows right here. Cheers to you.
New meaning to the expression rise and shine.
It was a gloomy afternoon in Manhattan for our first in-person buddy up in over a year, but we weren't about to let it rain on our parade.
This is the first time we've been together in person.
It's been a while. I'm so happy.
We've got a little urgency because there's a big line of thunderstorms.
Just saw that. We are the
weather wizards.
Oh my goodness.
So let's get it going.
Our first backyard game, a classic, cornhole.
How do you score cornhole?
So I think, if I remember correctly, I'm usually pretty drunk. In the hole is 3, okay. On the board is 2. Off the board, half off the board, like if it's dangling, it's 1.
Are you taking notes on this? Well, yes, there's the score. Ooh! Oh! Wow.
Doofus.
Oh, name calling this early? Oh!
Too much! Look at me! Look at me! I'm Craig. I'm awesome.
Oh! Boom! Look at you! Yes. Look at you! Yes. Cornhole Pro! Cornhole Pro! Yes! Yes!
15-9. News nerds? All right.
That's game we won. Yes!
I thought we had some wiggle room.
Boom!
In a shock to everyone, the news nerds are up 1-0, but the stakes are getting higher in a supersized version of Connect 4.
All right, here we go. You gotta get 4 in a row.
Okay.
4 in a row.
4 in a row.
Ready? Ladies
yes.
first.
Okay. Smart move. You don't want them to get anything, so don't put anything down because then they can.
Good catch. Good catch.
Is this the least we've ever talked?
Yeah.
Ow!
Yes! The old man's lost it!
You did it!
The old man's lost it!
He just wanted the game to end!
Okay, watch that. Next.
Things aren't looking great for both Team Weather Wizards or literally the weather.
There's
lightning and thunder coming.
Is that becoming like a roll cloud? Look at that.
With the storm approaching, it's time to get a move on for our grand finale, Can Jam.
If it just hits the side, that's 1 point. You throw it, falls in, that's 2 points.
Will Team Weather put any points on the scoreboard?
Now, if it's above and you knock it in, right? You jam it, that's 3 points. If it goes straight in, game over.
Good try. That was good. This storm's getting
Now,
vicious.
watch it, it'll go 4-3.
Okay, fine, just hit the thing.
Oh, close.
So
4-4. That might have gone in.
All right, 4-4.
First one to 5. All right.
6.
Mean Can Jam.
Despite the weather wizards' Can Jam comeback, they were still down 2-1. We had a choice, keep going or stay dry.
As you can hear, and as we've seen,
okay.
ta-da, we've got a line of pretty severe thunderstorms rolling in.
It would
So
seem to be that way.
I think it's time to call this buddy up. Why? Because I don't want to die.
Go News Nerds, we won.
You won, yay! Makes them feel better.
Oh, we heard you.
Hey, Today All Day, up next on Hashtag Cooking, Samadada is sharing her favorite ways to use up any oats that you have lying around. First up, she's baking an oatmeal chocolate chip cookie that's healthy enough to eat for breakfast. Then it's homemade granola with a savory twist.
If you like oatmeal raisin cookies, I will not judge you. But an oatmeal raisin cookie is simply not a cookie I want to be a part of. Personally, speaking for myself, I will opt for chocolate every single time. I know you have a little canister of oats sitting at the back of your pantry that maybe you're neglecting a little bit. But instead of teaching you how to make a traditional bowl of oatmeal, which I already know you know how to make, I'm going to show you how to hashtag upgrade your oats. Today we're going to be making my favorite oatmeal chocolate chip cookies with some added fun, coconut, and then a really easy savory granola. How's that for a plot twist? Let's get started. Oats, they are having a moment. They're everywhere these days, and for good reason. Oats are super versatile, they're really nutritious, and there's so much you can do with an oat to make it a start. But there are a lot of different varieties, so I thought I'd walk you through a few of my favorites. Welcome to my kitchen classroom. On today's agenda, Oats 101. These little guys are oat groats. I know, it's not the cutest name, but these are oats in their least processed form. They have a lot of fiber. And these are what they look like before they've been rolled out. They do take a bit longer to cook though, about 30 to 40 minutes, but they have a really nice nutty and chewy texture, which I find is really nice for a salad, similar to a barley or a farro. Next up, we've got my steel cut oats. These are simply oat groats that have been cut into this pinhead shape. Now, steel cut oats take about 20 to 30 minutes to cook. They've got a nice chewy texture, making it perfect for a slow weekend morning when you want to enjoy a bowl of oatmeal. Next up, we have got my Oat MVP, rolled oats or old-fashioned oats. These oats have been steamed and then rolled out into that iconic oat shape. These take only 10 to 20 minutes to cook, not too long, not too short, but they also have this really nice, springy, light texture without being too chewy. I find that old-fashioned oats are perfect for just about anything. An oatmeal chocolate chip cookie, some granola. I use them so much in my kitchen. And finally, we have our instant oatmeal. These are the most processed form of oats from our little lineup here, and what you commonly find in a little brown packet destined for your microwave. These are very mushy in texture, so I don't really cook with them or bake with them, but if you only have about 1 to 3 minutes in the morning to cook them, these are the oats for you. I won't judge you if you use them. When you're always stocked with oats, guess what you'll never run out of? Oat milk. Because that's right, you can make it yourself, and I'm going to show you how to do it. All you need to make your own oat milk at home is some old-fashioned oats, some cold water, and a good quality nut milk bag. When you're making your own oat milk, make sure to use old-fashioned oats. Steel cut is going to be a little bit too coarse, and instant is going to be too mushy, so we don't want to do that. Now, I'm just going to grab a measuring cup for my old-fashioned oats and measure some out. old-fashioned oats secured. My blender is my BFF, and this oat milk comes together just in your blender. I'm gonna add my old-fashioned oats to my blender. We've got some cold water. Make sure it's cold. We don't want any warm water here because the oats will get slimy. Nobody likes a slimy oat milk. Adding this in my blender. And finally, this is optional, but not if you're me, because I like a little touch of sweetness, a little bit of maple syrup. You can totally use a couple medjool dates too if you'd prefer. Just a touch. You can even add a little dash of cinnamon too if you're feeling like you want to live on the edge today with your oat milk. Now, all I'm going to do is blend it. Only 30 to 40 seconds. We don't want to over blend it because the oats will get kind of mushy. Okay, here we go. Oat milk is in our future. We're looking nice and creamy. Now, before I remove this from the blender, just want to show you, you can totally use a cheesecloth to strain, but I'm using a nut milk bag because it's a lot easier. I'm gonna prepare this in my pitcher. Now I'm just gonna pour in my oat milk. We're making oat milk. You just want to squeeze it a little bit so you get all of that oat milk out. This is precious. We worked hard for this. Okay, we didn't really work that hard for this, but we still want to get everything out. Look at how creamy that looks too. Like that's some thick oat milk. I love it. And look at how this nut milk bag is catching all of those little pieces of oats. We don't want that in our oat milk. We want that to stay secure in the bag. That's why it's nice to get a good quality nut milk bag, because then it makes it super easy to make your oat milk at home. All right, we're gonna set this aside. See you later. And now we have homemade, creamy, delicious oat milk. This stores well in the fridge for about 5 days. Make sure you stir it before you drink it because separation is totally normal. I like to use this oat milk in any recipe where I call for a non-dairy milk, whether that be in my chocolate chip cookie pie or even my date crumble bars. So delicious, it's so creamy, it's even amazing in your coffee. And you know what pairs really well with oat milk? Cookies. Luckily, I've got myself covered because we're gonna make my chocolate chip oatmeal cookies with a little bit of coconut. I'm gonna let this chill while I go grab the ingredients.
What should we watch for to find out whether this Geneva summit was worth it? What would it take for you to support this bipartisan infrastructure deal? What are the issues that the party stands for? That seems to be the missing piece here. If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Make the most of your day with
Today in
30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule, streaming every day on Today All Day. For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Tonight, we're on the scene as the urgent search for survivors is underway after the deadly collapse of a high-rise building.
Buildings don't fall down in America like this.
The Delta variant. What does this mean for people who are fully vaccinated?
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
Are you ready?
We're going to do our part to spread the word on the importance of vaccines, so crucial for reopening America.
A big day around here, a very special naturalization ceremony.
Many of them doctors, nurses, other essential workers.
If you are a nurse, thank you.
Spring has sprung, guys, and we want to fill this season with some fun and surprises.
Yes.
This is the face of excitement.
Celebrating Earth Day. Let's change the world. Love it!
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
I have been there and done that with traditional stovetop oatmeal and overnight oats. Plus, I would choose a cookie over those two any day. So, to solve my persistent desire for cookies at all hours of the day, I'm going to show you how to make my favorite oatmeal chocolate chip cookie that's wholesome enough to eat for breakfast. So, let's get to it. I've preheated my oven to 350 degrees, and because I love being prepared, I have also lined my pan with some parchment paper. Now, we're going to get to work on the wet ingredients. I'm going to crack my egg in my bowl. Whisk that really nicely. We want no separation between the yolks and the whites. Okay. This looks great. Now I'm gonna add a little bit of almond butter. Mixing the egg and the almond butter together really well. All right, this looks smooth and creamy. Now I'm going in with my melted and cooled coconut oil. Straight in there. We are actually going to be adding some shredded coconut into these cookies, so I find that the coconut oil really complements that super well. It's also a nice butter replacement in these cookies too. Mixing everything together. Everyone needs to become friendly. Perfect. Now I'm gonna add some vanilla extract. Can't have my cookies without it. And finally, for my sweeteners, maple going in. Maple adds that really warm and almost breakfasty taste to these cookies. And then we're adding some coconut sugar. Coconut sugar and maple syrup are my favorite sweeteners to use together. I find that they complement each other really well. They create this really golden taste in these cookies. Because coconut sugar is really fragrant, it's gonna go really nicely with that coconut oil and that shredded coconut that we're gonna be adding into the cookies later. My wet mixture looks perfect, honestly. I have to give credit to myself. Now, I'm gonna move on to my dry ingredients. For these cookies, I'm using a combination of almond flour and oat flour. If you don't know what oat flour is, get ready to have your mind blown. All it is just oats ground up into a blender until you get that fine powder, like a flour. Then we get oat flour. How fun and convenient is that? Easy to make at home. You can also buy it from the store. Oat flour going in. We're having an oat moment with these cookies. We love oats. Gonna also add some almond flour. Almond flour is really dense, oat flour is really light, so I find that they create a really nice combination and a really nice texture in these cookies. Okay, we're gonna whisk that up. Whisking our almond flour and our oat flour together really nicely. And now, because I'm fun, I'm gonna add some shredded coconut. Make sure you buy unsweetened shredded coconut because we've got the sugar already, we don't need to add more into our coconut. Now, for our star, these would not be oatmeal chocolate chip cookies without some oats. So, I'm using old-fashioned or rolled oats here. Oats going in. Time for a little baking powder. And a little pinch of salt. The salt is gonna balance out the sweetness, really bring it out. It's gonna heighten all of those flavors. Whisking everything together nicely. We want a fully incorporated dry ingredient mixture here. Dry mixture taking a journey. Beautiful. I'm gonna fold my dry and wet ingredients together until everyone is fully incorporated. So we want to make sure we're not seeing any remnants of that flour mixture, right? We want it to be fully incorporated. You'll see how that color changes. Everyone looks really nicely incorporated, really well mixed. Thorough. We want to do a thorough job here. I mean, listen, this is like a bowl of oatmeal, right? This counts. A cookie, an oatmeal cookie, same thing. I think it's the same thing. Okay, this is controversial. I'm gonna put my spatula down for this. If you like oatmeal raisin cookies, I will not judge you, but an oatmeal raisin cookie is simply not a cookie I want to be a part of, personally, speaking for myself. I will opt for chocolate every single time. So, I'm gonna fold in some chocolate chips. I measure chocolate chips with my sole, as you can see. I will be saving these to top the cookies with before they go into the oven. I want a few more. I changed my mind. Just a few. Breakfast, anyone? Okay, we're gonna fold the chocolate in really nicely. And this is a beautiful cookie dough situation I've got here. Okay. Time to make our cookies. Perfect. I'm using a cookie scoop here just to get some nice even cookies. Want them all to be about the same size, and then they're gonna cook evenly too. That is a huge chunk of chocolate chips I just got. I'm not mad about it at all. Okay. And I'm just gonna use my fingers just to flatten them down slightly. Not too much, just a little. This one has so many chocolate chips. That's the one I'm going for. I already know this. I've already made up my mind. I like making these cookies at the start of the week because I'm eating them for breakfast. It's kind of nice to have on hand. And even if you have a different breakfast, okay? Even if you're having your eggs or whatever else you eat for breakfast, you can totally have one of these after with a little cup of coffee. How does that sound? Pretty good? I know, because I do it all the time. You know what these remind me of also? Just like a really glam granola bar. Like a granola bar, but like make it a cookie. I've got some extra dough here. I will be baking these off later, but I do want to add a couple extra chocolate chips on top for fun. I went pretty heavy on the chocolate chips and the dough already, and I honestly love that for me. I'm gonna bake these in the oven 10 to 15 minutes until it's nice and golden brown around those edges. I'm so excited to have some oatmeal breakfast cookies after this.
Hey friends, want to try this tasty recipe from Sama? Well, just text food to 34318 and we will send it right to your phone.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
We are going to be cheering you on all the way.
Oda is going to renew their vows right here. Cheers to you. Cheers. We've been watching Chanel bust a move all morning.
New meaning to the expression rise and shine.
Jenna, nearly 2 miles in the air.
This is amazing! Yes!
Your Gampy would be so proud.
Oh, thank you, Al.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
It has been a long year.
Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing. So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for?
Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine. The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast. Free wherever you get your podcasts.
Make the most of your day with
Today in
30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule, streaming every day on Today All Day.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast. Free wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Cookies for breakfast, anyone? I mean, look at how textured they are, right? They've got the oats, they've got the chocolate chips, they've got coconut. There's a lot going on here. Perfect for breakfast, but also for any time of the day. I'm not gonna, say that I can't have this after dinner, because I can. I'm so excited to eat them. And you know what I'm gonna eat them with? Some homemade oat milk, because I'm having an oat moment today. And I'm just gonna have all of the oats. I mean, look at that. So fluffy, You know what this needs? You know what this needs? It needs to be dunked in some oat milk. It just has to happen. Okay. I gotta get my camera out first because this is a perfect photo op. All right, it's taking the plunge. Oh my God, okay. All right, here we go. I'm so good, I'm just losing cookies everywhere. Okay, I need a sip of oat milk. You might, and no disrespect to your bowl of oatmeal, but you might want to abandon it after you try these cookies. I'm just saying, I'm being honest, I'm going in for more. Someone hold me back. No, really, someone hold me back. Oh, you thought I was done helping you upgrade your oats? Well, you are mistaken, because up next, I have my plot twist savory granola. I'm super excited to make it. I'm gonna go grab the ingredients.
Hey, Today food fans, hungry for more? Just text food to 34318 to get all the recipes you see here on Today All Day. Don't delay. We know your tum-tum is grumblum.
Our week-long journey begins here in Orlando, Louisville, Kentucky, Cleveland. Our Across America journey reporting on an America rebuilding and reimagining a future after the pandemic. Good evening tonight from Geneva, just hours away from his historic summit. Over 16,000 unaccompanied children tonight in custody. What's victory look like in this, or what does improvement look like? It's going to be a challenge to meet that 70% goal. Why is it so challenging?
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
Make the most of your day with
Today in
30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule, streaming every day on Today All Day.
Good morning, welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
We are going to be cheering you on all the way.
Oda is going to renew their vows right here. Cheers to you.
Cheers.
We've been watching Chanel bust a move all morning.
New meaning to the expression rise and shine.
Jenna, nearly 2 miles in the air.
Your Gampy would be so proud.
Oh, thank you, Al. Good morning, welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
We are going to be cheering you on all the way.
Oda is going to renew their vows right here. Cheers to you.
New meaning to the expression rise and shine.
When you think of granola, you're probably thinking of those sweet clusters of nuts and oats to top your yogurt. But have you ever thought about a savory version? I know it's a plot twist, but savory granola is one of my favorite snacks. I was inspired to make it by traditional Indian snack mixes, and I cannot wait for you to try it. We want the savory granola to have lots of flavor, so to start, we're gonna make a little olive oil spice mixture. In my bowl, I'm gonna add some extra virgin olive oil. Olive oil is gonna help us get that nice, crisp, golden color and texture that we really want. Now, for some more flavor, I'm gonna add some coconut aminos. Coconut aminos going straight in there. Coconut aminos are made from the sap of coconut palms, and it's actually very similar in taste to a soy sauce, but it's gluten-free. So if that's important to you, there you go. We always have to have spice. I always have to have spice. I can't live my life without it. So we're gonna add a couple of my favorites. Cayenne. Cayenne is gonna add some heat, some spice. It's gonna really kick this flavor up a notch. Now I'm gonna add some garam masala. Garam masala is a very common Indian spice blend. It contains pepper, cumin, cloves. It's super warming, super fragrant. I love using it in my savory granola. I'm gonna add a little pinch of salt. Nothing is complete without a little pinch of salt. And now, because we have a lot of spice, a lot of flavor, a lot of savory elements going on here, I want to add a little bit of honey just to balance out that saltiness. I love honey. Just a touch, not too much. That honey is going to give that really nice, sweet and salty balance that I love so much. Now let's whisk everything together. Make sure it's really well incorporated. We want all of the spice, all of the flavor to be evenly whisked together. It's pretty potent. All right, this is nice and well mixed. Now I'm gonna move on to my dry ingredients. I like using a variety of nuts and seeds here because it's really fun to play with different texture and flavor. Every single nut and seed has a different flavor profile, so it's fun to add them all together and just have a little crunch, a little texture, something different in every bite. So I'm gonna start with my sliced almonds. I use almonds so much in my kitchen, from almond butter to raw almonds. They're super versatile and I just love the taste. I'm gonna add some raw cashews, super buttery and delicious. Now we're gonna go for some pecans. Pecan? I say pecan. In there. I'm gonna add some pumpkin seeds. You can add sunflower seeds here too if pumpkin's not your jam. Pumpkin seeds add that nice green color too. It's kind of pretty. Okay, now we're gonna add some sesame seeds. These are gonna be so delicious when they're nice and toasty in the oven. I love it. Now, this wouldn't be granola without oats. You cannot have granola without our oats. Adding the oats straight into my mixture. Now we mix them all together. Make sure that you're using raw, unsalted nuts here. We are gonna be roasting them in the oven with some olive oil and spices, so you don't need to buy roasted and salted nuts. Look at how fun and textured this is, so many different colors. And it's about to get a lot of flavor. Time to add my olive oil mixture straight on top of my nuts, seeds, and oats. Leave no spice left behind. Come on, you can do it. Okay. Now we're gonna mix everything together. We want a very well-spiced, savory granola. So every piece has to be coated by some olive oil and spice. It already starts to smell so good, so flavorful. This is such a fun and easy portable snack too. We are looking nice and well mixed. Now it's time for the pan. Make sure you get all of those little resistant oats. They'll have a better life as savory granola. Okay, make sure that you're spreading your granola out really well, really evenly. We want everyone to have personal space, some room to breathe. This way we can ensure a nice and even crisp bake. We are ready for the oven. I'm gonna bake this 45 to 50 minutes at 325 degrees in the oven. Make sure you toss it every 10 minutes or so to ensure that it gets nice and golden brown. Look at my gorgeous golden savory granola. I've let this cool completely. Make sure you let it cool for at least 15 minutes. First of all, it's a little bit too hot to handle as it comes out of the oven. And when you cool granola, it crisps up as it cools. I'm gonna store this in my cute little container, which I promise I can get the lid off because I'm strong. There we go. I love to store these in little mason jars or little jars like this, just so it's nice to have a snack on hand. So the next time you are craving a potato chip or a cracker, this is just a more unique and fun savory snack to snack on. You've got a lot of different flavors. You can customize it with your favorite nuts and seeds as well. So whatever you have in the pantry, you've got some sunflower seeds, you've got some walnuts, feel free to sub that in. Look at that nice golden color. So good. I've got most of my savory granola into my little jar. And you know what I also like to do with this? I like to put it on a salad. Think of this as the fun cousin to your croutons. Yeah, they're your crouton cousins. Crunchy, savory, really pretty. You've got those nuts and seeds and you've also got a lot of flavor there. Look how nice that looks. This is a super simple salad. I just did a little bit of olive oil, lemon juice, salt and pepper. This granola though, It adds a secret touch. It's so good. It's so salty, but it's got heat and flavor. Wait, I need more. Like, you've got so many things going on, right? Different nuts and seeds. Gives it a lot more texture, makes it more interesting to eat. You've got something new in every bite. I mean, have you ever seen a salad topped with granola before? I think I have to document it. I mean, look at that, it looks so pretty. Croutons? I don't know you. I mean, come on. I'm obsessed. Sweet granola, I'm coming for you. I hope this has inspired you to upgrade your oats. If you're neglecting them in your pantry, let them live. Let them live as savory granola, as some delicious oatmeal cookies. Oats are really an MVP.
We're just so excited to get started here. Our next guest is an advocate, author, mother, and a former first daughter.
Chelsea Clinton is also now a podcast host. She talks with experts and takes a deep dive on public health issues for her podcast, In Fact with Chelsea Clinton. And Chelsea is here to talk to us all about it. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Morning, Dylan. Good morning, Chanel. Thank you so much for having me on today.
Absolutely. It feels like you wear a million hats or a bunch of hats at once, and now you're adding podcaster to the list. Tell us about it.
Well, I launched In Fact because, at least in my lifetime, we've never had so many people pay attention to public health because we've been living in a pandemic. And yet, I think that for so many people, there's this equation that public health equals COVID-19 or maybe equals infectious diseases. And I wanted to help broaden people's understanding of what public health is and why we should pay attention to public health even when we're not in a pandemic. So we talk about things like substance use disorders and addiction and the still terrible stigma around HIV status and how climate change is a public health issue and a lot of other things that I'm really excited to share with the audience.
In one episode, you refer to the phrase moral reframing, and you say it's so important to choose your words wisely with really how you explain something. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, thank you, Dylan. So, when I spoke with Frank Luntz, with whom I candidly never would have expected to be in a conversation with, and he's a Republican pollster, strategist who has worked tirelessly, and I say as a progressive Democrat, unfortunately, at times from my perspective on successfully electing Republicans up and down the ballot. But he really cares about ensuring that every American has all the information that we need to make the choice to get vaccinated. And so we were talking about how do we situate vaccines and vaccinations out of politics and into language and context that we all share. Like, we all want what's best for our kids. We all want what's best for our grandparents. And so framing questions and conversations around vaccinations instead of kind of all the science, although it's important if you want to know the science that you're able to access all that information too, but situate the conversations in, like, how important is it that you're able to protect your grandparents?
I know. I think you're right. It's the humanity of it. And we have to be careful not to lose that piece. And then so for people who don't want to wear their masks, for example, we'll think about the children who can't wear masks.
Right.
On that note, I know you talked about when you had your vaccination or you got your first shot, you shed a few tears. I think a lot of us did. What was that moment like for you?
It was really emotional. Gosh, like I'm welling up even thinking about it. I volunteered starting in January every Saturday at the Armory mass vaccination site up in Washington Heights, which was one of the most moving and profound experiences of my life. I think I was there, like 17 Saturdays in a row with the just extraordinary team of vaccinators and volunteers from across the Columbia New York Presbyterian hospital system and working with EMTs and nurses and nurse practitioners who come from all over the country to help us vaccinate New Yorkers. And so it was already such a moving experience. And then to be vaccinated by one of the people that I was working with and to know that kind of this was my journey back to a new normal was just so many emotions colliding in me. And I definitely cried. And the nurse was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I'm okay. I'm not in pain. I just am so grateful."
Just so grateful.
They were like, okay. Like, do you need a minute? And I was like, "No, I'll get up so you can, vaccinate the next patient."
Get to the next person.
I mean, so it wasn't just a few tears. It was like, a lot of tears.
Yeah, I think a lot of people felt that emotion. I want to switch gears and talk about your book series, your children's book series, She Persisted. And I love what you're doing. Every month this year, you're going to come out with a new book about an influential woman. So why was this so important for you to get that information out there for kids?
Well, when I was on the book tour for the first She Persisted picture book back in 2017, it was just so inspiring to meet so many young readers, girls and boys alike, who were hungry to learn more about these women. And so thankfully, I had the chance to turn the picture book series now into a chapter book series. Kind of this year, we have 13 coming out with the first 13 women in the She Persisted book. And thankfully, I can't say any more than this, but we have more chapter books in future years about other inspiring women. And so it just is really meaningful to me that kind of these women that have meant so much to me throughout my life now have kind of fully fleshed out chapter books written by an extraordinary group of women authors. And we've called ourselves the Persisthood.
I love it. I love it. Well, speaking of children really quickly, the pandemic allowed a lot of us to kind of push the pause button and spend time with each other. You have 3 little ones. Did Grandma and Grandpa, were you guys able to, kind of come together for a little bit?
Yes. So I'm so thankful to my parents. I mean, we potted with my parents, last summer, and my parents were huge helps with my kids. And it has been such a special experience to watch the intense bonding that's happened between all 3 of my kids. And
what do they call
my
them?
parents?
Grandma, Grammy?
Grandma and Pop Pop.
Grandma and Pop Pop.
That's my dad's a Pop Pop.
Yep. Pop Pop.
Yeah.
Former Pop Pop president. Chelsea, thank you.
Pop,
yeah, exactly.
Lots of peas.
Exactly. Chelsea, you're a delight. Thank you so much for being here.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app. Make the most of your day with
Today in
30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule, streaming every day on Today All Day.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome to ABG, Asian Boss Girl, a podcast for the modern-day Asian American woman.
Helen Wu, Melody Chang, and Janet Wang are the voices behind the Asian Boss Girl podcast. But they've quickly become a voice for a community they felt was in need of one.
YouTube and Instagram propagated a lot of Asian American people, but most of those women were either professional influencers or they worked in fashion, and we didn't see other people who worked in corporate jobs, which that is like the vast majority of the Asian American population.
It started out as a hobby, born over a few glasses of wine and girl talk, until the 3 women left their respective careers in finance, tech, and media, making the podcast their priority.
It's fun to just sit around as girls and drink wine and say, let's do a podcast. But then it gets real, right?
Yeah. We had to learn how to edit, how to market a brand. And so I think slowly we started figuring out this is actually more work than we expected. Each of us individually were kind of going through personal career transitions. And then we just thought, we have this project we're working on that's generating income. What if we went in full time?
Did any of you have those uh-oh moments?
Oh, for sure, for sure. I think we were all very tactical about it. We built out spreadsheets. I built out spreadsheets. I'm the unofficial CFO of the company.
The pros and cons.
Yes, and of seeing like what's our cash runway, how long can we do this for us? And I think that's necessary for anyone who's trying to pursue their passion project. The leap of faith is scary.
But leap they did, turning their side hustle into a full-time gig without a safety net. And then a global pandemic hit.
I think it was really like a blessing in disguise in some ways. I think for anyone career transitioning, I think it can be scary. If the world was functioning as it was and I was going to happy hour with people, I would be much more inclined to compare myself or like question if we were progressing the right way. We were at home, it was easier to focus.
Around a kitchen table in downtown Los Angeles, they share uncensored and candid conversations from relationships.
You could call me naive, but I really wanted this one to work.
To social justice.
It makes no sense for a human being in America to feel scared to go on a jog or wear a hoodie or go bird watching or worry about getting shot in her own home by cops.
No topic off limits, but one of the most difficult and personal issues for the women has been the recent hate crimes against Asian Americans.
My grandpa would take walks in the afternoon after his dinner, and to think that maybe that could have happened to him really broke my heart. It's hard whenever we talk about it, but what I'm seeing is that there is this wave of support, not just within our community, but outside of our community as well. We want to guide our listener through that process of grieving, working through the trauma, and then figuring out, well, what can we do about it? And that's something that we're trying to do by, if we're not prevalent in main media, we're gonna make our own way of media.
Making their own way as they break barriers and shatter stereotypes. Now their sights are set on even bigger things.
So are you all plotting the Asian boss girl empire? We're trying.
We're gonna be the next, like, the Oprah for Asian people. We started as a podcast, and now we consider ourselves a multimedia company. I think we also want to continue building and fostering our community, a place for Asian women to feel like they can be supported and that they can support one another.
He's been making us laugh on Saturday nights for the past 2 years. SNL breakout sensation, Bowen Yang.
And he's had some of the most iconic moments of this past season. The man got to twerk on Dua Lipa. Need I say more?
Okay, you should say more because he also played that iceberg that sunk the Titanic.
Okay, that was one of the most epic ones.
It really was. Now he's leading a star-studded cast in a scripted podcast called Hot White Heist. Hi, Bowen.
Hi, Jenna. Hi, Justin. How's it going?
How are you doing? I'm happy you're here. I know. Justin loves you.
By the exposed bread.
Bowen, okay, when I was on maternity leave, you came here and filled Hoda in on everything she'd missed, which was basically everything. You made us laugh. And then the next week, you got this amazing gig on Saturday Night Live.
Crazy.
How has your life changed since the last time you were on the show?
I mean, not too much because I feel like I'm still going into 30 Rock and I still got Hoda and Jenna on the brain, and that was such a fun segment that we did. Like, what was it, 2 years ago now?
Yes.
That was so fun. Yeah.
Okay, and the Titanic.
Okay, we have to talk about the sketch where you played everyone's enemy, the iceberg that sunk the Titanic.
Yes.
How was that?
It was so fun. You know, I've always thought that that iceberg was very misunderstood, and that iceberg was the victim of a boat attack, and that the White Star Line has to atone for their crimes. No, it was so fun to. I mean, all I say now is that I can't believe that made it onto TV, because the week that led up to that, we were just like, me and the co-writer, the head writer Anna Dresden, were just like, this will never ever make it onto TV, and somehow it did, and that white blazer is
iconic.
I studied for everyone to see.
It made it on TV, and then it trended everywhere. Like, everybody sent it to me, and have you seen this? It's hilarious. So you must have felt like, you know what? My writing has done something good.
Yeah.
Okay, this podcast sounds amazing, and also like something I've never heard before.
Jane Lynch.
Sure.
Cynthia Nixon.
Yes.
Alan Cumming. I mean, come on.
MJ Rodriguez, Cheyenne Jackson, Abby Jacobson, so many people. I mean, it's an all-queer cast, and it's like not like anything I've ever done before, where it was the team behind it was just so wonderful and great, and it felt like such just a lovely, lovely, liberated time. And it's so funny. It's out June 17th. Everyone should listen to it on Audible.
I mean, this heist sounds pretty crazy.
But by the way,
will you explain to people what's going on in this?
Yes.
And it's daytime TV.
Yeah, daytime
It's
TV.
daytime TV.
Yes, it's daytime TV, of course. I'm aware. It is, I play Judy Fink, who is a grifter in New York City in some ways. He runs this scam out of Washington Square Park where he reads tarot cards for unsuspecting tourists, but his aunt recruits him for a heist to steal a
genetic material.
Yes, genetic material
from our greatest yes.
Legal went ahead and approved that.
Oh yeah, I was on that call for sure. So the genetic material for some of history's greatest minds, and it's so funny, it's so fun, clever. I can't say enough good things about it, and I get to say these things because I didn't write it. I didn't have any involvement in it, and so I get to really, really gas it up.
Okay, can we play a little game with you?
Oh my God, I'm so excited to play this game.
Okay, and can we have the graphic, please?
Oh.
The more you bow.
The more you bow. This is a game that we're going to throw out some rapid fire questions about the entertainment world, and you're going to give us your take. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, pop culture moment of the year so far.
Oprah saying who is having that conversation.
Ooh.
Yes.
Okay.
To Meghan Markle.
Who's the celebrity that got you through the quarantine?
Oh, I think it's a tie between Megan Thee Stallion and Leslie Jordan.
Oh, you and I are best friends. Megan Thee Stallion.
Yes. Okay. The
more you bow.
Every time we're gonna get that.
Yes. I think we're doing it just for the graphic. Okay. Pop diva we should all be paying attention to.
Ooh, I would say Olivia Rodrigo, and Little Mix from the UK, and my niece Ellie. She is gonna be big. She's 3 years old, but she's gonna be big.
All right, Kris Jenner, just put your family up in there.
Let's go.
Uncle Jer.
Okay.
You bow.
Favorite award show moment of all time? It
Very,
better be
very
Britney
tough.
with the snake.
Oh, I think it's a three-way tie. Britney with the snake, Beyonce showing off the baby bump, and Adele Dazeem. Adele Dazeem.
Adele Dazeem.
Can you
Adele
do,
Dazeem
I mean, honestly, you got it. You know everything. Okay, finally, celebrity whose social media you cannot live without.
Okay, this is gonna have to be my SNL castmate, Michael Che. It's pure chaos.
It's amazing.
He's constantly deleting his posts, saying that he has announcing that he's a podcast when he doesn't. He never will. I mean, it's all over the place.
You have
Che
the best
is chaos.
taste. You really do have the best taste.
The more you bow. Thank you so much.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Tonight, we're on the scene as the urgent search for survivors is underway after the deadly collapse of a high-rise building.
Buildings don't fall down in America like this.
The Delta variant. What does this mean for people who are fully vaccinated?
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
What should we watch for to find out whether this Geneva summit was worth it? What would it take for you to support this bipartisan infrastructure deal? What are the issues that the party stands for? That seems to be the missing piece here. If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
Are you ready?
We're going to do our part to spread the word on the importance of vaccines, so crucial for reopening America.
A big day around here. A very special naturalization ceremony.
Many of them doctors, nurses, other essential workers.
If you are a nurse, thank you.
Spring has sprung, guys, and we want to fill this season with some fun and surprises.
Yes.
This is the face of excitement. Celebrating Earth Day.
Let's change the world.
Love it!
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
It's always really cool when a daughter follows in her mom's footsteps, and that's especially true if your mama happens to be the very talented Leah Thompson. Over her 35-year career, Leah has added actress, producer, and director to her resume, and now her daughter Zoe, she's getting in on the fun, baby.
The dynamic duo is starring in a new Audible podcast called A Total Switch Show. They play a mother-daughter duo who switch bodies. Think Freaky Friday, but probably for adults.
Yeah, we can't wait to hear about this one. Hi, Leah. Hi, Zoe. How are you guys?
So good. It's so nice to see you guys.
First of all, y'all are super cute. We can't stop looking at you, so we may not be listening half the time. I hope you're okay with that. But so, Zoe, this was your project, right?
So, yeah, it was fun. Right at the beginning of the whole pandemic, when we thought maybe we'd never ever get to act again, we were like, what's gonna happen? What can we do? We can't do anything else. I got to develop this fun idea with some friends of mine at Team Coco and Gavin Pallone, and we got to make this really darkly existential take on the well-known format. It follows a control freak mother and her disdainful daughter who waste no time completely ruining each other's lives and each other's bodies. So it's definitely not a sweet version of Freaky Friday. It's super funny. Characters are not based.
That was just our follow-up question. Are you sure there's not a little
of you?
My sister was one of the writers, so we would try to pick it. We were trying to figure out what she was pulling, and we were like, please say that this isn't. Please don't.
Not really us. This joke isn't really us.
Leah, you know, Zoe's been on the show before, and when we could have people in real life. And when she left, Hoda and I just marveled at how kind and lovely she was. And I feel like that in so many ways has to do with the way you raised her. What makes you most proud about your girls?
You know, it's their courage, because life is all about kind of getting up and marching forward when you have setbacks. And so Zoe has such great courage, and so does Maddie. And that's really impressive to me. And to be kind, I was always, if you're going to follow in my footsteps, you better be kind to the crew. You better be a good team player. That meant a lot to me. And every time I work, someone comes up to me and says, I worked with your kids and they are so amazing. They're so polite. They're so professional. And then my heart grows 3 sizes.
And Leah, this is a tough business. I mean, there are like a lot of dings. You have to have a thick skin. I mean, it must be from your seat when you're watching your daughter kind of venturing off down this path. You know what that feels like? How do you handle that?
It's really hard to have gone through so many ups and downs and then watch your kids go through the same thing. So sometimes that's really hard, but I just try to take a deep breath and say, they have their own path and they're handling things in ways I wouldn't, and teaching me along the way. That's an interesting thing about kids. They teach you things. So it's, life is, for any profession, it's all about ups and downs, right, honey?
She's probably just like, what is wrong with me that I wanted to do this job after growing up? I love it, but I mean, I was sure about how crazy it was. I knew going into it for sure.
Yeah, well, because their dad's a director as well, so that's a lot of ups and downs that they've seen from both sides. It's stereo ups and downs.
Zoe, I heard that family dinners were a must in your house, and that we weren't ordering pizza.
No.
Or if we were stopping at Domino's to pick it up.
Yeah, I feel so bad when I Postmates or Uber Eats something. I feel like I'm really doing something illegal, because we never did that growing up, ever. It was always, which is awesome, and it's where my love of food and breaking bread together comes from, and that the experience of sharing a meal together is everything. But when I do order in, when I sneakily don't cook or whatever, I'm like, don't tell my mom. Don't tell my mom.
Okay,
well,
we're going to let you go, but quickly before, if you could switch bodies with anybody, who would it be?
My dog! Gwen Stefani! Hey, bud!
You guys are great.
Thank you for having us on.
Oh, we think y'all are terrific. Please, yes, please listen to it on Audible. And Leah, happy early birthday, girl. What are you doing to celebrate this milestone?
My children are throwing me a party, and even though I know about it, there's lots of surprises apparently.
All right. Post a couple of pictures for us, Zoe, okay, so we can see. All right. Happy birthday early. Again, you can catch that podcast. It's available on Audible exclusively.
What should we watch for to find out whether this Geneva summit was worth it? What would it take for you to support this bipartisan infrastructure deal? What are the issues that the party stands for? That seems to be the missing piece here. If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Talent and perseverance, inspiring America.
I've been preparing for a moment like this for my whole life. I have lots of songs and lots of stuff to share.
I want to show my daughter what it's like to overcome adversity.
So many reasons to cheer for that young lady.
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
Make the most of your day with
Today in 30.
We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule, streaming every day on Today All Day.
What should we watch for to find out whether this Geneva summit was worth it? What would it take for you to support this bipartisan infrastructure deal? What are the issues that the party stands for? That seems to be the missing piece here. If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Barbara Corcoran was 23 when she quit her waitress job, borrowed $1,000, and started a tiny real estate company. Over the next 25 years, it grew into a $5 billion business.
Many of you guys know Barbara best as one of the sharks on ABC's Shark Tank, but lately she's been doling out her straight talk as the host of the very popular podcast Business Unusual with Barbara Corcoran, and she's even handed out free advice from a phone booth in New York's Union Square.
Okay, she liked it so much, she'll be heading back in to the Better Call Barbara phone booth to answer your questions right here. Hey, Barbara.
Hey, Barbara.
Jen and Hoda, nice to see you both.
It's great to see you, hon. I think a lot of people do look at you, Barbara, and think, boy, I bet you she was born with a silver spoon in her mouth. She's got this huge business. And you don't really, people don't know about the struggle to get there. What was the toughest part of your climb?
I think when my boyfriend left me, who was my business partner, married my secretary, and as he went out the door, he said, "You'll never succeed without me." And he gave me an insurance for success. I thought I'd rather kill than let him see me not succeed. You know, I just got that fire in my belly, the power of an insult.
Oh my gosh. And is it true that you had 20 jobs before starting this company on your own?
Yes, we have to realize I'm one of 10 children, and we lived hand to mouth as a family. So we all worked from the time we were 11. You can accumulate a lot of jobs by the time you're 21 if you've been working from a very, very young age, of course.
When you say it was hand to mouth, what do you mean exactly?
So I'm probably using the wrong expression. We had clothes on our back. We had enough to eat. And my dad worked 2 jobs, and my mother killed herself for her 10 kids. So she always seemed to make it through, you know. But I grew up, thank God, with a burning desire to do something back for my family. And probably my happiest day of my whole life was when I had my first profit, and I bought my mom and dad each a new car.
Oh,
but I never had a new car, and I had to deliver it to Florida with bows on the top.
How cool are you? Awesome.
So, Barbara, you give great advice. We know people come to you all the time. So let's go to our Better Call Barbara, and let's put you in your cool phone booth, and we're going to answer questions just like you did in New York. And here's our first one, Barbara. Okay. It comes from Nene.
Barbara, this is Nene from Columbus, Ohio. It's time to update all 3 of our bathrooms in our home. Should we move ahead now or wait until building costs level out?
Well, bad news, Mimi. Building costs are not going to be coming back down. So if you're going to go ahead, you might as well go now before prices get more expensive. But a full bathroom remodel always gets you about 60% of your money back when it comes time to sell. So bear that in mind. But if you don't want to spend the money on new bathrooms now, the 3 best bangs for your buck are regrouting the tile, recaulking the tub, and buying a new sink. And that's what you should focus your money on.
That is such good advice. Okay, Kylie has a job hunting question. She's going to call in.
Barbara. My name is Kylie. I'm calling from Madison, Wisconsin, as I am currently hunting for a new job. How can I get in front of these desirable companies that I don't have an in at, let alone experience in those specific industries I'm interested in?
Kylie, first off, I have to say you have to pick up your energy and be wildly enthusiastic, or you're not going to get what you want. You should start by scanning every job board out there every day. There are 8 million jobs posted there, and they change by about 10% of them every single day. So you have to stay on it every day to see what's out there. Next, you have to make sure in your resume you use the key words that are in the actual job description, because the whole world runs with algorithms today, and your resume won't even be picked up if you don't mimic the words that are in the job description. Next, you don't want to use a generic subject line. I see these applications all the time. Regarding job application. Oh, really? It's better to ask a question. And I gave a guy an interview last week, and I didn't even have a job. But I love this guy. He wrote, "Hey, is it me you're looking for?" in the subject line. I love this guy, okay? And last, try to get your resume in front of a real human being, a real live person at a company who can make an introduction for you. If you can land it, will give your chances of getting the job like 4 to 1.
Awesome. Barbara, thank you. You always give really good advice.
Yeah, we need more of it.
Yeah, you'll be in New York doing your thing at the phone booth, and the rest of us, we can find you on Business Unusual, wherever you get your podcast.
Hi there, I'm Jill Martin. For the last 12 years, I've been the lifestyle contributor for The Today Show. Now, I'm here with a first-of-its-kind show, one that I've always dreamed of doing. It combines the hottest products, new technology, and a way for you to get the items home with one click. It is a 360 viewing experience you can't find anywhere else. We're joined by megastar and Golden Globe winner Tracee Ellis Ross, sharing her secrets to success and all the details on her groundbreaking hair care line. Plus, we've got my it list of the top fashion and home trends, and access to the biggest summer beauty buys you can't find anywhere else. Let's get trending. This is Shop Today with me, Jill Martin. We hope to simplify your shopping experience with features that make it super easy to shop along with us. Do you see the QR code at the bottom of your screen? It will be there throughout the show, giving you instant access to my product picks. All you need to do is this. Open the camera app on your smartphone, point the camera to the screen, and hold your phone there until your device recognizes the QR code and shows you a notification. Just tap the notification to open the link and start shopping. Plus, we've created a new text-to-shop feature. Simply text SHOP to the number below to shop all the products we share on today's show and get a sneak peek to shop. It can sometimes be overwhelming, I know, sorting through trending products, deciphering what is really worth the buy. So I have curated the It List for you. Scan the QR code at the bottom of your screen to shop along with us and get exclusive deals you can't find anywhere else. All right, let's start with a company that has been in business since 2006. Based in Austin, Texas, it is one of the leaders in the travel and outdoor space, Yeti. You know them for their coolers and drinkware, and we have the classics, the coolers and the Rambler, which is really a hard-cased koozie. But what is trending right now are the new colors and seasonal shades, like King Crab Orange and Aquifer Blue. I love the colors. These are investment pieces, as you know, as they are designed to be indestructible, can keep food and drink cold for days, and their hard-case items float. If you are a boater, that really comes in handy. Upgrade your time outside with these two items. First, we have the Trailhead camping chair and the Lowlands blanket. The chair is portable and easy to set up and comes with its own bag, plus it's super comfortable. The blanket is waterproof, so it's perfect for a picnic or the beach. It's designed to handle any terrain, and get this, it's machine washable. But probably my favorite new product from the brand is the Yeti Duffel. This will change the way you pack a suitcase. It has built-in dividers, which makes it easy to organize. The dividers can fold down if you would rather not use them. And the duffel comes in 2 sizes for a trip of any length. prices for these items range from $24.99 to $249.99. Well worth the investment. Next up, this one is major if you are a frequent flyer or even for everyday use. Do you ever get on an airplane and realize you don't have the right headphones? I know you're all nodding yes. Well, problem solved with the simple wireless headphone adapter from Airfly. And it does what it claims. Makes listening to music or watching movies on any airline simple and hassle-free. This handy little accessory lets you connect any wireless headphones to a device that requires a headphone jack, like on an airplane, at the gym, on the treadmill, or in a rental car. The Airfly's long-lasting battery will survive a coast-to-coast flight, and you can even connect multiple headphones at once, great for the family. The Airfly comes in 4 models and it's under $50. So here are 2 unexpected items that make a knockout gift. It's the oversized beach mat or yoga mat. Choose from 80 different backgrounds and simply upload photos. Look how much fun these are. Everyone loves them. And the quality is top notch. The mats go for $30. Up next, another huge trend. Getting in on the ear party. Now, my mother begged me not to get any more piercings, but there is a way to layer without actually piercing your ears and not breaking the bank. Melinda Maria Jewelry brings us a variety of styles for earrings, ear jackets, and cuffs. The initials are the perfect personal touch. You could wear the initial of your significant other or your kids, and the hearts and stones come in so many different colors. You could wear them individually or all at the same time like I do for one of the most popular trends of the season, the ear party. Prices start at $20. You can never go wrong with Birkenstocks. For a summer of relaxed style, I wear them with everything. The Birkenstock Arizona Eva Slide has a rubber sole and is lightweight, waterproof, and washable. Perfect for any pool or beach trip. It comes in a variety of colors and widths for ultimate comfort. The Birkenstock slides start at $44.95. Next up, another small business that is all about fun. La Pom Pom. I fell in love with these ornate, handmade, colorful bags. They are unique and surprisingly hold a lot. The other items selling out everywhere right now are these interchangeable straps. I love them because they make an old bag new again. This was my bag and just added the strap, and look how different it looks. They are also handmade and such high quality. They come in 2 lengths, and what a statement. These handmade pieces start at $80. Scan the QR code to see all the colors and patterns available. All right, next, moving to the kitchen. We have the microwavable cookware from Anyday. Now, this company is brand new. It launched with David Chang as a partner in March of this year. And if you cannot cook like me or love a good hack, these are for you. All right, here is what is so cool about this. The dishes are heat resistant and the lids basically transform your microwave into an air fryer. All you need to do is just press start. Even I could do it. You can make a full meal in roughly 15 minutes with no fuss. The dishes come in 4 sizes and are sold individually, or if you get the set, you can save. Scan the QR code to see all the options. All right, now this next item may seem random, but I believe it belongs at every single party. The trend of bringing childhood fun into our adult life is alive now more than ever after the year we've all had. I'm obsessed with these adult piñatas from Nip Yada. I mean, just look at this disco ball, the champagne bottle, the tequila bottle. I mean, they come in all different shapes, and they're filled with 10 to 15 mini plastic bottles of name brand liquor. These piñatas double as stylish decor and are a great party game for any event. The piñatas come pre-filled and come with the stick. They start at $89.99. And that wraps up my It List for the hottest items in travel, fashion, and fun. Let's go through the list one more time. We have the coolers, duffel, and durable outdoor gear from Yeti, the wireless headphone adapter from Airfly, the customizable beach and yoga mats from Mailpix, the latest fashion finds from Birkenstock, La Pom Pom, and Melinda Maria Jewelry, the microwavable cookware from Anyday, and the adult party piñatas from Nip Yada. And just so you know, Today works with affiliate partners and earns a commission on purchases made through our links at today.com. Don't forget to scan the QR code at the bottom of your screen or text SHOP to the code below to snag these favorites before they're gone. Stay tuned. I share my favorite beauty products for an instant refresh. And later, superstar Tracee Ellis Ross talks about her revolutionary hair care line.
Talent and perseverance inspiring America.
I've been preparing for a moment like this for my whole life. I have lots of songs and lots of stuff to share.
I want to show my daughter what it's like to overcome adversity.
So many reasons to cheer for that young lady.
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
It has been a long year.
Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like really confusing. So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for?
Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Make the most of your day with
Today in
30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show.
in a mere 30 minutes.
Savannah and Hoda bring you what you must know. The biggest moments of the morning.
One Republic!
Exclusive interviews.
Why did it work for you?
You're right. I am more talented than the rest.
And important headlines.
Major medical news this morning.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule. Streaming every day on Today All Day.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast. Free wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast. Free wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to Shop Today. It's time for Instant Refresh, where we give you the must-haves for the month to give your beauty routine an instant makeover. So I have done the research for you and found the hottest items from top brands in beauty and skincare. These products can't stay in stock. So scan the QR code to get in on these bestsellers we have secured just for our Shop Today viewers. Now, let's start with skincare. And this incredible, innovative brand, Face Gym. It's designed to lift and tighten your face without any invasive procedures. It's not a facial and more of a workout for your face. So we're bringing you some of their best-selling products, including the new Electrolyte Gel Cleanser and the Supreme Duo and Youth Promoting Kit and Sculpting Tool. Founder Ing Theron wanted to bring her signature face workouts home to you. And what is so cool about what she has done is you could just scan the QR code on any product and an interactive guide shows you a 5-star facial you can do for yourself. While it may feel silly massaging your face in front of the mirror, she says you will see a drastic transformation almost instantly. Skincare items from Face Gym start at $30. Next up, we have the face cupping kit from Within. Now, this traditional Chinese medicine technique can be gentle if done right, but I suggest giving it a try at night if you're a first-timer. The face cupping kit increases circulation, so your skin appears more plump, youthful, and vibrant. This kit is great for all skin types and tones and comes with a handy how-to guide so anyone can learn how to use it. The kit retails for $50. But we have an exclusive deal. You could visit today.com/shopallday to get in on it. Next up, I am not a person who sits in the sun, but if you still want that sun-kissed glow without the harmful rays, I have the perfect solution for you, and I have it on right now. P.S. If you're a TikToker, you have seen the product all over the place. These tanning facial drops from L'Oreal. And what I love about this is you just add a few drops to your daily moisturizer, apply it to your face, and voila, an instant tan. Another perk to this, you won't have to buy a darker foundation for the summer months, and you can use the moisturizer you already have in your beauty cabinet. This small bottle goes a long way and is under $15. All right, now let's talk makeup. Celebrity makeup artist Charlotte Tilbury cannot make her products fast enough. The quality is so high-end, and the packaging is just so beautiful. Lucky for us, she just released her Look of Love palettes. The new softer tones are perfect for summer. You could buy the shades in a variety of ways, including kits for the complete look with products for the face, eyes, cheeks, and lips. And if you're only getting one item, as we all know, one lipstick can change your entire look. There's a variety of colors and styles from matte to high gloss with fun names like Wedding Bells, First Dance, and Love Trap. Her lip products start at $34 and kits start at $75. First, another item that's gone as soon as it launches, these limited edition Pat McGrath lipsticks. Now, the celebrity makeup artist's new line comes in this mini design, which aren't they so adorable and fun and bright? The sleek metallic tube makes an ordinary routine feel luxurious. The mini matte trans lipstick duo sells for $15, and Blitz trans lipstick is priced at $38. Now we have another popular TikTok trend, and this time for your hair. These super easy to use heatless hair curlers from Tafara Beauty. The rollers come in a variety of sizes for loose or tight curls and waves. They're perfect for all textures and lengths. The curlers have over 28,000 Amazon reviews, so see what other people are saying about them. The curlers sell for under $15. And last up, I love this part because when the day is done, this has been a lifesaver for me and honestly has been so much better for my skin. The original makeup eraser is the perfect way to take off all your makeup with no fuss and no added products. Just add warm water to the cloth and you're set. The cloths are reusable and machine washable. I just suggest washing it before using it for the first time. The original makeup eraser starts at $20. That wraps up my must-haves for getting an instant beauty refresh. Let's review the products one more time. For your face, we have the skincare products from Face Gym, the cupping kit from Within, the facial tanning oil from L'Oreal Paris. For makeup, we have Charlotte Tilbury's newest color palettes and best-selling lip kits, and the shimmering lipsticks from Pat McGrath. For hair, we have the heatless curlers from Tafara Beauty, and when the party's over, the original makeup eraser helps take it all off. And don't forget to scan the QR code at the bottom of your screen or text SHOP to the code below to get these beauty essentials right now. You can also grab these items by heading to today.com/shopallday. Next up, Tracee Ellis Ross on her groundbreaking hair care line and the new star in her life. Plus, tools to get the perfect at-home blowout on any budget. All that and more just ahead on Shop Today.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition. Talent and perseverance, inspiring America.
I've been preparing for a moment like this for my whole life. I have lots of songs and lots of stuff to share.
I want to show my daughter what it's like to overcome adversity.
So many reasons to cheer for that young lady.
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Make the most of your day with
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Savannah and Hoda bring you what you must know. The biggest moments of the morning.
One Republic!
Exclusive interviews.
Why did it work for you?
You're right. I am more talented than the rest.
And important headlines.
Major medical news this morning.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule. Streaming every day on Today All Day.
What should we watch for to find out whether this Geneva summit was worth it? What would it take for you to support this bipartisan infrastructure deal? What are the issues that the party stands for? That seems to be the missing piece here. If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Welcome back to Shop Today. Our next guest is one of my favorite follows, the fabulous Tracee Ellis Ross. You know her as the Golden Globe winning star of Girlfriends and Blackish, but what you might not know is that she's the founder and CEO of a hair care line that is changing the game. We chatted about her products, her perseverance, and her passion to help women feel their very best. Take a look. Hello there, Tracee Ellis Ross. It is very nice to meet you.
Hi, Jill. It's so nice to meet you. Thank you for having me.
I'm going to start boldly. Tell me about your relationship with hair.
I like to say that you could chronicle my journey of self-acceptance through my journey with my hair. When I was young, it was just the thing that grew out of my head, and I loved it, and it was what it was. As I started to move into those fabulous teen years where you become very aware of the world around you and how you fit in the world, my hair started to become a source of, do I fit in? I remember I was like, I don't know, 14 years old, and my mom was like, listen here, little lady. You have got to stop spending money on hair products. You are gonna have to grow up and either get yourself a really good job or a really rich husband. And I was like, fancy that, got myself a really good job and made the hair products. What?
I want to be really clear for the person this is for. Tell me who should use your products.
If you have hair that's curly, coily, or tight textured, these products are for you. I will also say that there are a lot of people that I know that don't have curly, coily, or tight textured hair, but have very thick hair or hair that gets dry and they need a lot of moisture. They also use the pattern products.
Let's start with the first product I want to highlight. The hydrating shampoo, which you call a wash of liquid sunshine.
The hydration shampoo, one of the beauties of it, people with curly, coily, and tight textured hair, one of the big things is keeping the moisture. So the hydration shampoo does that. It's one of the reasons I love it.
Before I get to the lightweight conditioner, I saw you and Diddy on Instagram, speaking of trending, doing that video.
He uses the conditioner. He uses my product. So do his kids. There was like a little get together at his house, and I happened to, thank God, have that little mini leave-in conditioner in my bag.
I happen to have all my products flying out of my bag when I walked in.
It was the little one. Can you imagine if I had like whipped this out? But no, I was like, wait, I have products. Let's do a video. So that's all that was. But let's go to lightweight. So the lightweight conditioner is the fourth conditioner that we added to the line. It's specifically designed for fine and thin hair. You're looking for the volume from your hair, you just need a lighter conditioner.
Next up, we have the tools kit.
You have them all here. I have the box in the way they come. They also are sold separately, which is the beauty of them. The number one center is the shower brush. It is the key to my best curls. It creates clumping and curl activation with the brush. The other tools are the wide tooth comb, which can be used for detangling, with product, without, when your hair is wet or dry, and also to create more volume. And then the pick, of course, which can be used as a pick, or can also be used to, once you have your wash and go done and your hair is dry, to create volume, or on day 2, day 3, when you're trying to fluff your hair back up after sleep. They're also all really pretty.
I want to get to the hair gel.
I love this because you know I love a slick back bun. I think it's elegant, it's so easy, it's fast, it works no matter what your hair looks like. I'm obsessed with the Stronghold gel.
Okay, I want to get into the last product because you call it a universal must-have. The scalp serum.
Have you ever had your hair in a ponytail for too long? Have you ever had your hair in braids for too long, where your scalp starts to go, yeah, that's what this is for. It's just soothing and cooling, and it's also good for your scalp and the follicles in your hair, and you can massage it into your scalp, and this is a must-have.
How important is it to you to normalize the conversation about hair, and for young girls who may be insecure about their hair to learn from you?
The way I use my voice and my social media is about the celebration of authentic beauty that is centered around Blackness, that allows people, young girls, young boys, young people, to see themselves mirrored back, or to inspire them to see themselves in a way that they feel they can celebrate, embrace, and love. I'm aging now with the gray hair and the different things happening with my body and perimenopause and like having to get my hair colored and like all these different kinds of things. I'm not sure why we're trying to hide all those things when they are actually evidence of the life I've lived and the beautiful self that I have become.
We're going into the last season of Blackish. Emotionally, what does that feel like for you?
Incredible, and I'll tell you why. We walked into every season of Girlfriends not knowing if we were coming back for another one. And we also ended the show of Girlfriends during the writer's strike with no forewarning. To walk into these last episodes knowing it's the end feels really exciting and like an absolute treat.
I heard you steal a lot of things, like on the Girlfriend set, You stole a weight belt, and you said you steal a lot from your mother. Do you plan on stealing anything from Blackish?
I absolutely am gonna steal stuff from Blackish. But by the way, do you know where I got that idea originally? My mother has a brick from the yellow brick road in The Wiz.
I have chills all over my body.
Yeah, what a great idea to have a keepsake like that, right?
Well, you had a recent post that I want to read. Well, this feels cool. I'm getting a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame 40 years after my mama, Diana Ross. What an honor to be etched into the history of Hollywood.
Can you believe that?
Well, I can believe it, but can you believe it?
No, the only expression I keep writing back to my friends when they text me is, this is crazy town.
Congratulations on all your success.
And Jill, congratulations to you. Thank you for being another sister out there who is just navigating the world through your heart.
I just loved that conversation with her. Thank you, Tracee. And let's go through the pattern products once again. We have the hydrating shampoos, the lightweight conditioner, the hair tools kit, the strong hold gel, and the scalp serum. To shop these products, scan the QR code, text shop to the number below, or head to today.com/shopallday. And don't go anywhere, because we're back with splurges and saves on even more hair care essentials coming up only on Shop Today.
What should we watch for to find out whether this Geneva summit was worth it? What would it take for you to support this bipartisan infrastructure deal? What are the issues that the party stands for? That seems to be the missing piece here. If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Make the most of your day with
Today in 30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Savannah and Hoda bring you what you must know. The biggest moments of the morning.
One Republic!
Exclusive interviews.
Why did it work for you?
You're right. I am more talented than the rest.
And important headlines.
Major medical news this morning.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule. Streaming every day on Today All Day.
What should we watch for to find out whether this Geneva summit was worth it? What would it take for you to support this bipartisan infrastructure deal? What are the issues that the party stands for? That seems to be the missing piece here. If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
It is time now for my splurge segment, where I give you items that are incredible investments, items that can really be game changers in your life. I grew up, like many of you could relate, with super difficult hair and always counted on going to the salon to get a weekly blowout. This splurge changed the game for me and really elevated my overall routine. As now, I can do my own hair every day, or even for fancy affairs. I did it today. And I can do it in minutes, not hours. So meet the Dyson Airwrap, my best friend, the best-selling revolutionary hair dryer and curler in one. Now, you may have heard of it. This will give you a professional quality blowout and is also better for your hair as it doesn't use extreme heat. Plus, it dries and styles simultaneously. I can do my own hair from wet to dry in less than 15 minutes. The Airwrap comes with 9 attachments and accessories, including several interchangeable barrel sizes to curl or wave, and brush attachments to smooth and volumize. The tool is engineered for multiple hair types and styles, perfect for whatever look you're going for. Now, this is definitely an investment, but as my mother says, that Dyson owes you nothing. If you are a hair person like me and can do it, I can tell you it is well worth it. Now, Dyson has also developed a first-of-its-kind straightener. If you're looking for that look, you could check that out by scanning the QR code at the bottom of the screen. And last up for our splurges, we have the Olaplex Hair Perfector number 3. Now this little bottle is the secret to smooth, soft, and healthy looking hair. It really changes the texture. The weekly at-home treatment features a patented formula created to repair damaged hair, and it works. Get this, one is sold every 5 seconds worldwide. Wow. The Olaplex number 3 starts at $28 and comes in multiple sizes. Now, if you're not able to splurge on these items, I totally get it. So I have some affordable options here for you that consumers are loving, starting with the Revlon One-Step Hair Dryer. This hair tool packs a punch. It has the power of a traditional hair dryer featuring a paddle brush nozzle that smooths the hair and tames frizz and flyaways. The One-Step Dryer boasts 30,000 Amazon reviews and comes in a few colors, starting at $33.99. Now moving on to another affordable option, the Allure 3-Barrel Curling Wand. This tool looks intimidating, but it's super easy to use and gets you those perfect beach waves that everyone loves in the summertime. The curling wands start at around $30. Well, that wraps up my splurges and saves to up your everyday hair care game. Let's go through the products one more time for splurges. We have my buddy, the Dyson Airwrap, Dyson Corral Straightener, and the Olaplex Hair Perfector number 3. And for our saves, we have the Revlon One-Step Hair Dryer and the Allure 3-Barrel Curling Wand. To shop these products, scan the QR code, text SHOP to the number below, or head to today.com/shopallday. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Shop Today. I had so much fun. Big thanks to Tracee Ellis Ross. What a rock star. And we're so glad that you tuned in to shop along with us. Be sure to join us next month as we get ready for fall. We're calling it New Year, New You. Let's start fresh. We'll see you then. Bye, everyone.
A big idea finally come to light.
How does this feel? I mean, just a year ago, this was all just a dream.
Yeah, it's very surreal that, this is mine.
This is your corn.
Yeah.
Here on 39 acres of land in St. Helena, South Carolina, Chef Adrian Lipscomb is creating a sanctuary for Black farmers.
The Welcoming Center is over there.
Right. Where they can grow their own produce and learn about the history of an industry that currently is less than 2% Black.
We were cooking as slaves, as the cooks in these kitchens. We want to recreate those kitchens. We want to celebrate, but also explain to others and to the public. We want the community to come to this land. We want them to be able to come celebrate on this land.
Opening up a new world of possibility that all started with a mystery check in the mail for $100.
So you did not know personally the person who put this check in the mail to you?
No. Didn't know this person.
Her project is called 40 Acres and a Mule, a reference to the short-lived attempt at reparations that gave former slaves land after the Civil War, only to be rescinded after Lincoln's assassination.
It started with the Special Field Order number 15 by General Sherman to give 40 acres and a mule to the slaves that were released from the Civil War that were following him. And the question he asked is, what do you want? And one of them stood up and said, land.
How does Juneteenth and the significance of Juneteenth for you connect to this project?
Juneteenth has always been celebrated with me and my family. 1865 is just a significant year. You already have freed slaves in January of 1865, but you still don't have the free slaves of Texas, not until June 18th of 1865. By the next day, they're celebrating, and they're saying, we are free, we can celebrate. And what is so interesting is that slaves weren't allowed to be in big groups. So a lot of those leaders came together and they bought land where they would go and celebrate Juneteenth. And food was a huge portion of this.
The celebration of freedom.
Yes, celebration of freedom, you're right.
Which is why Lipscomb, a mother of 4 who owns Uptown Cafe and Bakery in La Crosse, Wisconsin, decided to start her project here in South Carolina.
A lot of history right there.
A land
slaves were here.
Slaves were here.
With deep roots and African ancestry.
Land is huge. Land brings identity, land brings community, land brings freedom. It allows us to navigate in this world, to create our history, to respect our history, but also bring forth our future.
Lipscomb was able to raise more than $150,000 in less than a year through a GoFundMe page and with the support of celebrity chefs like Mashama Bailey and David Thomas.
As an African-American chef, I am really interested in reclaiming the narrative where the food of this country started.
Together, they're fixing up something special ahead of this Juneteenth, celebrating on their land in the best way they know how.
Some of the best chefs in America around this table.
Helping one entrepreneur fulfill a promise from generations ago.
Left the hands that made this food.
For generations to come.
Amen. I see.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
We are going to be cheering you on all the way.
Oda is going to renew their vows right here. Cheers to you.
Cheers.
We've been watching Chanel bust a move all morning.
New meaning to the expression rise and shine.
Jenna, nearly 2 miles in the air.
Your Gampy would be so proud.
Oh, thank you, Al.
Make the most of your day with
Today in
30. We give you a mix of everything you love about our show.
in a mere 30 minutes.
Watch Today in 30 on your schedule, streaming every day on Today All Day.
What should we watch for to find out whether this Geneva summit was worth it? What would it take for you to support this bipartisan infrastructure deal? What are the issues that the party stands for? That seems to be the missing piece here. If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press. The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
Food, in a way, unlocks a lot of stories.
It's this emotional connection that we get through eating that food that is really irreplaceable.
My name is Chitra Agarwal. I'm the co-founder at Brooklyn Deli, where we make sauces and condiments inspired by my family's recipes from India.
My name is Katevi, and I'm the chef and owner of Dumpling Club, a weekly subscription service that features a rotating menu of dumplings and Asian dishes.
I started Brooklyn Deli in 2014. Our first products at Brooklyn Deli were my achars, which are a staple Indian condiment. They're kind of like this spicy, sour, a little bit sweet. So you add just a little bit and it kind of just makes the dish like amazing. I developed a lot of the recipes for achar using what I was getting in my farm share. So I was making achar from heirloom tomatoes, garlic, gooseberries. I wouldn't say that it's authentic Indian food. It's very much inspired by my heritage, but it's authentic to me.
My grandfather comes from a region in northern China that specializes in dumplings. And to him, dumplings were the perfect food, the best food. I use all sorts of influences in the dumplings. For example, influences from my husband's Austrian side. That's not traditionally how dumplings would be made. I'm learning to be really comfortable with that. In the beginning, I felt like that wasn't truly authentic. But I actually now feel that that's very authentic to me and my experience.
A labor of love learned from generations before them.
The plating sort of represents on the outside the amount of care that's been put into this food. Whenever we made them as a family, seeing the pleats that my mom or that my grandfather added to the dumplings would remind me that they were the ones who prepared this food for me.
father's mother, we were just very close. I can still remember the food that she would give me. I can still taste it. They're kind of like food memories from when I was really young, and those continued on as I visited her every year in India. Every trip, we would be in the kitchen.
Growing up, we didn't have regular access to Asian grocery, but I learned about the importance of food from my mom. She would use spaghetti whenever she was making stir-fried noodles. Her creativity, that creative spirit that she had when it came to replicating her home food through whatever ingredients that she had on hand, that's what I feel really inspired by.
Both women left stable jobs for their culinary careers.
It was a really scary time because, I had been working for over a decade in positions where I had benefits, I had an ongoing salary that I could count on.
I left Google in the fall of 2019, and already that year I was starting to make dumplings, send them around to friends and family, and when I decided to really start in earnest was in February 2020, conveniently 1 month before the pandemic hit and everything shut down. I didn't have a steady job or an income at that time, and whenever I had a spare moment, I'd fold dumplings, and then I would stay up all hours editing footage and putting it up on Instagram, and we were just trying to survive.
Despite the pandemic, their businesses not only survived, but thrived.
Our public sales tend to sell out within a few minutes. One time it sold out in less than a minute.
For us, it's been great because more people want to try the flavors that we're putting out there and want to learn more about Indian food and culture. Everything that I really learned how to make, I learned from different family members. So I feel like, in some sense, the Brooklyn Deli recipes also are a way for our family recipes to kind of live on.
When my parents came to the States, they really came here with nothing. And I'm super cognizant of that now, that it's a huge privilege to be able to do what I love, to go after what I love. And that has come from years of sacrifice and hard work from my parents. And knowing that, I want to take that privilege and make sure that I do something really positive with it.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
Make the most of your day with Today All Day. Get closer to all your friends in today in a whole new way.
Today in 30.
We give you a mix of everything you love about our show
in a mere 30 minutes.
Shop today with Jill Martin.
We're helping you shop like never before.
The latest styles and biggest names. Today food.
Things are heating up in the Today All Day kitchen.
Cooking essentials and recipe inspiration.
Get ready. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Only on Today All Day.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
We are going to be cheering you on all the way.
Oda is going to renew their vows right here. Cheers to you.
Cheers.
We've been watching Chanel bust a move all morning.
New meaning to the expression rise and shine.
Jenna, nearly 2 miles in the air.
Your Gampy would be so proud.
Oh, thank you, Al.
Sometimes the news can be difficult and overwhelming for kids to understand.
Will coronavirus come back next year?
So to help make sense of it all, we've created a newscast just for them. Man, you know a lot. We hope your family will watch Nightly News Kids Edition.
For breaking news in our changing world, download the NBC News app.
The Meet the Press Chuck Toddcast, free wherever you get your podcasts.
If there was one thing that I wanted people to take away from our work, it is that Black people, Black histories and stories are important, and they are ubiquitous. They are everywhere. Whether we're discussing politics, if we're talking about arts and culture, Americana, we are Americana. I just think it's really, really important that Black people are centered in conversations about where we are in this moment and where this country is and where we have been. My name is Kiana Stewart, and I'm the co-founder of Black Market Vintage.
And my name is Jenna Handy, and I'm co-founder of Black Market Vintage.
Black Market Vintage is a Brooklyn, New York-based antique concept shop. The owners travel, collect, and sell items that represent the richness of Black history.
We're both from Brooklyn, and we grew up 600 feet from one another and did not meet until we were adults, which is wild.
In terms of how we grew up, I think just a typical Brooklyn, childhood of going to the corner store, playing double dutch outside.
So we met at Rutgers University. I don't necessarily know that there was a moment that we knew that we were supposed to be more than friends. I was really intrigued by Jana when I first met her, and it felt like I had known her, a lifetime.
There was a twinkle in her eye that almost I understood what it meant, like. And so there was something that we were able to see beyond where we were, to see kind of where we could end up.
So I grew up going to vintage shops, thrift stores, stopping on the side of the road, you name it. My mom was stopping the car and bringing stuff into the car to bring home.
In these shops, Kiana and her mother rarely saw people that looked like them or items that represented their history.
So going into antique shops and we are the only Black people in the spaces. There's no Black art on the walls. There's barely any Black literature.
Over time, Jana joined Kiana on the quest to fill this void. They began traveling the country, collecting Black art, Black music, Black literature, civil rights memorabilia. And then in 2014, started selling it from their stoop and at flea markets.
When we first started out, it was 100% a hobby. And, weekend markets, getting up, setting up as vendors. And we really didn't see that there was a need to shift until the community kind of told us that.
Demand for their products and interest in the history behind the items was so great, the next step was creating a consistent presence.
We kept outgrowing ourselves to the point that we needed to create the infrastructure to then go from a hobby to an online store to then a physical shop.
In November 2019, they opened their brick and mortar shop.
Our public opening, that really was like a full circle moment.
It was like Bed-Stuy is getting this gem of a business and folks who are community oriented, a place, that folks can meet and gather and see themselves. There were folks in this space all day. There are just so many aspects of this work that we didn't necessarily imagine at the very beginning. I did not envision that Lena Waithe would say after Queen and Slim, we need wrap gifts for the whole crew.
Thank you for this journey, no matter how it ends.
Here's the beautiful thing about what they're doing too, is they are saying about our magazines, old books, old t-shirts, our tchotchkes, our buttons, that they are worthy of being kept.
Other customers echo that significance.
What I love most is that people are starting to redefine how important it is to have these artifacts, to have this history, to know this history.
Every sale that they make is a whole learning experience.
Black artifacts historically have always served as a function, in our communities and in our societies at large. They tell a story. They say that we were here, we lived here, our lives were important. We were names, we were a culture, we were a family.
Of the thousands of items they've sourced, Kiana and Jana showed us some of their oldest items.
There were a few NAACP signs from a float from a parade. Something else that I can think off the top is a fugitive slave notice from, I want to say, the early to mid 1800s. Black people have been collecting and doing this kind of work for as long as we've lived, but I haven't seen a shop that exists in this kind of way. We were open for about 4 months before closing for COVID. We were adjusting to a new schedule, to new financial obligations, now having different kinds of overhead with the physical space. It's just a time of great uncertainty. We're still very much so in this like really strange, odd, traumatic place.
Now we're kind of redirecting it back to online. And so there's been those pieces of it when it comes to the logistics of the business side. But really we've been able to adapt and overcome in some substantial ways.
I really want the legacy of Black Market Vintage to be that Black people are thought about and considered from the very beginning and are not an afterthought, but that a whole community and a whole business is conceptualized and put into action with Black people at the center. And I really think it's important that other folks do the same. Like, the material is very important. The people and the stories that are embedded and imbued in those objects are just as important. And that's the ethos of our work. Our business says there's a place for you. There's a place for grandma's things. There's a place for grandpa's things, a place for your things, to then recirculate them throughout the community and make them accessible because they are important.
Good morning. Welcome to Today. Future's looking bright.
We are going to be cheering you on all the way.
Hoda is going to renew their vows right here. Cheers to you.
Meaning to the expression, rise and shine.
Talent and perseverance, inspiring America.
I've been preparing for a moment like this for my whole life. I have lots of songs and lots of stuff to share.
I want to show my daughter what it's like to overcome adversity.
So many reasons to cheer for that young lady.
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
I'm rolling up my sleeves for science, so I'll survive if I contract this virus. For family dinners, family vacations, family anything. For traveling somewhere beyond my living room. And for the Rebels, there is no greater feeling than being in the stadium and cheering on Ole Miss. And now it's your turn. Roll up your sleeves, America. Plan your vaccine, because every shot counts. Visit planyourvaccine.com and make your plan.
It has been a long year.
Yeah, where it's been anything but normal.
Well, now there's hope. The COVID vaccines.
I know. It's been a little confusing.
Like, really confusing.
So it's more important than ever to make a plan. Visit planyourvaccine.com
to find out where and when to get your vaccine.
What are you waiting for?
Roll up your sleeves and plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Plan your vaccine.
Every business is closing down. I have to do whatever I can do to celebrate and showcase my heritage, my proud ancient Black Jewish culture, and eventually touch different people through my food. My name is BJ Barhani, the owner of Sion Cafe, Ethiopian Mediterranean restaurant in Harlem, New York. The cuisine we serve at Sion Cafe is a homage to my diverse identity and culture that I was brought up in. It's celebrating my Jewish, my Ethiopian, and the New Yorker aspect of me. As an immigrant, it's very important to empower people within the community and really to help them pave the way and make it here in New York. I have great respect for new immigrants that just want to go and contribute to the community where they live. We opened Sion Cafe in 2014. It's an establishment where you can nourish your body and soul. It's a place for healthy eating, a community gathering, and making a connection with different people. It's a place where you can come and listen to great music. This used to be the famous Jimmy's Chicken Shack, where in the high day of the Harlem Renaissance, musicians such as Art Tatum, Hazel Scott, or Billie Holiday used to perform here. Different people were working here, such as Charlie Parker, Red Fox, the comedian, and the leader, Malcolm X. The live music and the art shows from local artists, local musicians. That's how I honor the legacy of the Harlem Renaissance. I was born in 1976, Tigray, Ethiopia. Growing up in Tigray, it's very happy childhood memories. It was a surreal, beautiful country, delicious food that early mornings I recall my mom roasting the delicious coffee in the house. I left Ethiopia when I was 4 years old and then lived in Sudan for a couple of years. We never really said that we are Jews. We had to hide our religion. We didn't want to create any problem or trouble. Arriving eventually to Israel was a dream come true. We integrated to the society, and in some point in my life, I wanted to live in a kibbutz. A kibbutz is a cooperative way of living, sharing in a community. And growing up in Israel was a place where I was exposed to a lot of diversity within the Jewish cuisine. Going to my Georgian or Gruzny friends and eating some delicious food, or going to my Yemenite friend and eating some malawak and jachnun. So I grew up really immersed on all those diversities, cuisines, and that kind of, it molded me to appreciate food from all over the world. In the year of 2000, I came to New York when I was 21. I came to New York by myself, didn't know anybody. I just took a backpack and came here. My parents did come to New York for a couple of times, loved it. The plan was for her, actually, when I decided to open Sion Cafe, to come and help me here and guide me. Unfortunately, my mom passed away about 4 years ago from cancer. She is a great influence to the person who I am today. And her picture is right there in honor of her. And I will do, whatever I can to make sure that I continue that rich legacy that my mom engraved in me. I have 2 kids. Alam is my elder daughter. She is 15 years old. And my son, Berhan, is 11 years old. They take part in helping, if necessary, here at the cafe.
Ethiopian food is what I grew up on. Like the spices, the flavors, everything. It's so much, it brings me back to my childhood. And I love introducing it to my friends, and they actually love it as well. So it's really exciting.
The menu is a showcase of the different people, different cuisines, different flavors that I encountered throughout my life. You won't find anywhere in a menu where you have shakshuka together with the Ethiopian veggie combo, or malawak, or jollof rice with doro tips. I never ate jollof rice before when growing up in Israel, but coming here to New York and having employees from Nigeria opened me to that beautiful cuisine. In the neighborhood, it's a lot of fast food. It was very important for me to bring something wholesome that is nourishing the community, is a healthy option. There is a high rate, diabetes, obesity, and I wanted to address those issues by opening a venue where we can provide locally sourced vegetables, organic ingredients. We make fresh injera here every day, about 100 a day. It's made out of the ancient grain that it basically has a lot of minerals and vitamins. 2020 for us at Sion Cafe started very well. January was great. February was good. And then all of a sudden, March come in and the pandemic hit New York.
The unprecedented changes took effect in two of the nation's largest and most densely populated metro areas. Much of New York and San Francisco now shut down.
And it was a disaster. We started feeding frontline workers or anybody in need towards the end of March, and then mid-April. For the security of everybody, for the safety of my employees and myself, we really decided to shut down everything. The city providing this opportunity to open a roadside or sidewalk cafe, it's of course, it's very helpful rather than, depending only on takeout or deliveries. From 30, 40 tables, now you have about 10 tables. It's a big difference in terms of revenue intake. But are we gonna give up? No, we're gonna still keep fighting and make sure we are feeding our community.
Waves of peaceful protest marched on, bigger than ever before.
After the killing of George Floyd, for me as a Black mother, it was very troubling to see of a murder of an innocent man. A lot of people wanted to support minority-owned businesses, Black-owned businesses, and that helped.
Through this pandemic, they've really made an effort and a real obvious commitment to this community, not just by sharing their wonderful gift of food and culture, but by being very open-minded and inviting people like me and my friends and artists to come and share our gifts and our talents.
Harlem is home. Harlem is the mecca of Black culture. Harlem is part of me. In this pandemic time, hard time, if we can uplift people's spirit, if it's music, healthy food, our job is done.
Oh, wait,
yeah.
wait. Look.
Hi.
It's our Today All Day viewers.
They came back.
They're looking good,
Oh,
too.
they are. Hello. You know what? We hope you are enjoying your Thursday, and we are so glad you came back for our digital show Today in 30. There's a lot to get to, and we only have those 30 minutes, so let's get to it.
Chop, chop. All right, first, health officials are sounding the alarm about a wave